I'll call this Bang Bang. Seriously?
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. Pull up, bitch.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up.
Objection. Objection.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. KO. Bang bang.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. You're a bitch, bro.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up.
Bang, bang.
Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
All right, Ms. 𝗃𝗏𝗃, your next witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor, the Commonwealth call Trooper Michael Proctor to the stand. State your name and spell your last name for the jury.
Michael Proctor, 𝗵𝗄𝗃𝗀𝗄𝗆.
You're a bitch, bro.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang, bang.
My name is Aidan Kearney, also known as 𝗕𝗏𝗺𝗺.
Is a senior editor for 𝗕𝗏𝗺 Daily News.
I'm a big fan.
We've broken hundreds of stories that the mainstream media won't touch.
Some blogger in Massachusetts who's getting to the bottom of this better than anybody.
Why is it 𝗕𝗏𝗺 that is covering such important issues? Where is the rest of the media?
You did not say that you were gonna take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby.
Stop it.
Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do.
I know you do.
People don't like the things that I say and want me to stop saying them, but I won't. I'm never gonna stop. These are the kind of stories that must be told.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Boys, go baby, we bringing our toys. Boys, chop up and sing, it should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this. So it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom.
You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, go, go.
Tick, tick, boom.
Boom. What's up, people? How's everyone doing tonight? Happy hump day. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to day 2 of the trial recap. We don't usually do Wednesday night shows, but special occasion. We're going to try to do these every night during a trial. I don't know when I'm going to sleep or get anything else done, but I'm trying my best here, working it out. The commute is manageable. You know, sometimes I'm going to lose the lottery too. Let's be real. I won the lottery again. I've won every time I've entered. A lot of people thought that randomizer, the media lottery, would be rigged against me because, you know, everything seems to be rigged against me. But you know, I won again. I'm 4 for 4. The only time I didn't get in is when I forgot to send the email in. So I keep getting in. But you know, like Ted Daniels has lost every week. He lost again. I feel really bad for Ted. I'm thinking about offering up my seat to him as just I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but I feel like I should be able to, because it's not fair. He's not getting in. You want to know who got in this week? Like, I don't even know what this is. Oh, so WHDH is in again. So that's, I believe, Jonathan Hall. Something called the South End News Bay Windows newspaper. What the fuck is that? No offense to whoever runs that. I've never seen it. I don't know what that is, but you should not be in there over Ted Daniel. No way. No way. Then there's John DePietro won. He did not win last week. He's just basically a troll. Christina Rex got back in. Grant won again. Grant has also won every week, but he's never showed up. He has not showed up. So there's that. Who else? Inside Edition. Somehow they're on the list now. WCVB won again. The Boston Herald won again. I won again. And Boston.com, I'm not sure if that's the same as the Globe or not. But the 3 alternates for next week are Gretchen Voss, Canton TV, and Jess Machado. So Ted Daniel didn't even make the backup list. He didn't even make it again. It's like, wow, they are doing him dirty. I don't know what else to say. That sucks for him. Oh, and NBC 10's not on there, so that would be Sue O'Connell. She didn't make it either. But anyway, that's that. Like, there was only 6 media in there for the first 2 hours today, and then 4 others got to come and fill the spots. So, you know, some of these people won't show up. So anyway, guys, if you're new here, my name's Aidan Kearney. You can call me a variety of names. You can't call me Clarence Woods Emerson anymore because that Facebook account is gone. I'm working on figuring out a way to like get a new Facebook account because I miss Facebook a lot. Like, I miss just going on, mostly for the Justice Group. That's mostly what I did it for, but just dicking around in general, and the Messenger. I use the Messenger more than anything, but you know. Anyway, you can call. Oh, dude, I'm like walking down the Main Street in Dedham today, and this kid is like 6 years old. He's like, Turtle Boy. I'm like, no way. Yeah, that's me, kid. And he's with his mother, and he's got these presents for me. He made like a bunch of Post-it notes. They just drew turtles on them. And he's like, here's one. He gave me like 10 Post-it notes. It was very thoughtful. I forgot the kid's name, but he's really nice kid. And he's like, he goes, you go live every Tuesday and Saturday. He told me. I'm like, I do, but you shouldn't be watching because I say a lot of bad words. So, you know, anyway, so that was on, let's see. So that's, yeah. Anyway, so Clarence Woods Emerson, you can call me Uncle Turtle Boy. Old school Turtle Riders do that. You can call me doctor is actually my preferred pronoun. Because if Jim Crosby's a doctor, then so am I. You can call me daddy. I don't mind that. It's not required, but it's catchy. Some people like it, so I will allow it. You can call me Journalism Jesus if you like. You can call me A. Timothy Kearney. That's my true crime name when I'm deep in the woods, deep in thought, trying to, solve murder mysteries on my own in my leather jacket. I don't care what you call me. Just be here every night, every Tuesday and Saturday night, normally at 9 o'clock. And make sure you smash that subscribe button. Yesterday, I said I wanted to get to 109,000 today. Let's see where we're at. We are at 108,944. So we need 56 more of you right now. How many people are watching right now on YouTube? 4,700 and counting. So smash that subscribe button. I'm sure of the 4,700 you watching right now, at least 56 of you have not hit the subscribe button. You'd be surprised. It's free. Just, go ahead and smash it. And yes, I keep seeing people in the chat. 𝗃 is out of jail. 𝗃's out. So that's good. He got released on personal recognizance today. Okay, we're up to 108,959. So we only need 41 more. I'm going to refresh it again. Ready? Here we go. 970. We're only 30 away. 30 away from 109,000. Let's refresh. Nope, 0 there. Okay, again. 975. We're only 25 away. We are 25 subscribers away. Again, we got 4,714 watching on YouTube. I feel like it's more than that. Yeah, no, 4,865 watching on YouTube. And so at least 25 of you have not hit the subscribe. Let's refresh. 108,990. We are 10 away. 10 away. Can we get 10 more? I'm going to refresh. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. 994. 6 away. 6 away. Come on. I know there's 6 of you out there that haven't hit the subscribe button. Once you hit it, we can get started. Let's go. There we go. We did it. 109,002. So there we go. We'll get to 110 before you know it. Especially doing these streams every night, these recaps of it. So, all right. So look at, if you guys want to have your turtle chats read out, if you want to have your messages read out loud to the class, we don't have the super chats because I've been demonetized for a hot minute. So you gotta, we built our own platform called Turtle Chat. If you click at the link at the top, you can pay whatever amount of money you want. And in return, I will read whatever message you send, right? It could be filthy. It could be respectful, whatever. It's your Turtle Chat. Okay. Just keep it brief is all I ask. Don't send a whole friggin' centograph. We don't need that. So why don't, or you can cash at me at $UncleTurtleBoy. And we could do it that way. So let me start off. Let's see what we got if we have a turtle chat so far. It's pinned to the top, by the way. All right. We got Nicole sends $5. It goes, I can't wait until you could tell us what the other texts are about Kerry. Hank is having a horrible start. What happened to fuck around, find out? I know he is off to a horrible start. And we'll talk about that. But man, yeah, I got to be honest. I mean, it was a cool day watching what happened to Kerry Roberts, but I have way better messages than that. And I'm like, can we unimpound these motherfuckers? Can we just show the class? Because these texts are fucking wild. And they weren't even mentioned. They didn't even come. I'm like, what? What? How are these not? Like, they mentioned some good stuff, but they didn't get to the really good stuff. I know. I can't control what the defense brings up. I don't know what they're doing. But, I got some good shit here. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. And it's going well, but like, I think it was 𝗃𝗄𝗆 or some other people posted, like, these goddamn clips are a problem. They're just a momentum killer. Ultimately they're not going to do anything, but it just sucks where you have like yesterday we got Nuttall. Like, oh yeah. Like he gets destroyed for like 3 hours. And then, here's a clip of Karen Reed saying something again out of context. The jury doesn't get to hear the whole context. It just sucks. It sucks, Just want to tell her, like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? Everything's fine. You don't need to talk. But hey, what's done is done. We can't undo that. And yeah, there's that. Okay, next up. Okay. Gray sends $5 and goes, I knew there was a more specific word that 𝗲𝗃𝗃 was confusing with inevitably because he always uses it wrong in a specific way. And I finally realized that today the word he meant to be using is ultimately. Okay, thank you. Kerry Roberts, sweaty hillbilly gunt, sends $5 and says, what's up, turtle dick? What do you think? Is the sequel going to be better than the original? Are you going to snuff Grant this year? Peace to your bum crease. And I'm not going to snuff Grant. And, you know, I think that I definitely think when it's all said and done, it's going to be way more entertaining than the first one. Just there's no Lallie. Lallie was boring as shit. He was bad. He was not good. Hank is better at his job than Lallie. Just, I mean, you got to give it to him. These fucking clips are coming in handy. And Lallie didn't use anything like that. Ultimately, I don't think it's going to do anything. I don't think it's going to help them, but it's just going to, all you got to do is just make some jurors dislike her. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. So there's that. And you know, this buffer zone thing, right? It's discouraging because, you know, this dance studio asked people to get off their property today. And then the cops, the Dedham police told people to get off the sidewalk. It's like, where do you want people to go? What do you want people to do? And the problem is there's just not enough people. I want to see what they do with hundreds of people. When hundreds of people start showing up like the old days, what are they going to do then? How are they going to stop all of these people from doing this? You know, how are they going to do that? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, back to this. Thomas Autonomous Anonymous sends $10 and goes, whoever bitched about my name, it's shorter today. Oh, he said T Autonomous Anonymous. Jen McCabe wanted one whole day to violate the sequestration, and Bev could care less. Lies benefiting the Commonwealth have no consequences, but truth against the Commonwealth gets your bail revoked. I know. Deborah sends $5, goes, do you think Guarino will show up for cross? His back seemed to be bothering him today. Bev told him he could stand or sit. Got his word in to prep for his absence. So did you see my tweet about this? So I'm walking out of court today during the, I don't know if it was the lunch break or whenever I was walking out, and I see Guarino walking in with some guy. All right, let me share the screen. So this is Guarino in the blue suit here, and there's some other, what looks to be like some other shady cop over here. And as you can see, he is not walking with a cane or anything like that. He's fine. Like I wish I took a video in hindsight, because he walks into the court today like he's got shot. You know, he's holding on to the goddamn railing. He's like his foot's asleep or something like that. It's like, dude, I just saw you outside. You were not walking like that at all. He's pretending to be injured. He did get hit by a car many months ago, which I'm sure was very serious and is also karma. But at the same time, I saw you walking outside, Guarino. You were not walking with a limp. And you definitely were not in need of any sort of assistance to walk. And yet he got into court today. He literally, when he walked by the jury, he was holding onto the railing, and like, he got up there and like, I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, I just saw you outside. He is pretending to be more injured than he is for what? Pity from the jury? Like, it's just bizarre. It's bizarre. So anyway, thanks for that. Next up, we got Heather sends $10 ago and says, yesterday was our first time in Dedham. A shout out to Jess for showing me and my mom around, and to you, Dr. Turtleboy, for taking a picture with my mom. She freaking loves you. RIP Basement Mouse. Yes, it was great to meet you, Heather and mom. Met a lot of people every day there. I always try to go over to where the buffer zone is and say hello to the peeps and raise morale and spirits. And, you know, it's great to see you guys. It's great to see you guys. Anyway, back to this. Let me refresh this. Brennan is failing, sends $10 and goes, I didn't mean to send a blank one, so here's 2. Can they bring in Kerry's text messages through someone else, like MM? Is that Michael Morrissey? And did you think the video shown after Peg's testimony was better for the defense than the Commonwealth? I thought it was because Peggy was nasty about Karen during her testimony, and then in the video, Karen said she felt like she shouldn't be there. Another Brennan fail. Yeah, I don't think it worked out too well. We're gonna get to that tonight. Thank you. Brennan is failing. Tiny Elvis sends $10. Goes, odd that Jen McCabe called Kerry this AM to wish her luck. I know. Of course she did. It just further cements, like, you bitches. Of course she did. First of all, why does Jen even know that she's testifying if she's not paying attention to the trial? Like, why do any of these people know what the other ones are doing? I don't know. Of course she did. Like, of course she did. It's just, thank you for proving our point. We're going to get all into that. Don't worry. Kerry Roberts, Shitty Pants, sends $5 and goes, I misunderstood the question, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, I'm not that smart. No, you're not. Austin sends $6, goes, Army Rangers lead the way. Okay. Dina, I think, sends $50 and goes, first time this way. Usually give, send, go. Don't get mad. I messaged you on X. If it wasn't for you talking to Howie, I'd never know about any of this. Okay, so you're a Howie listener. Yeah, go on Howie every day at 5:33 to recap. Howie's columns lately have been fucking killing it. Like, absolutely fantastic. His columns, like the headlines in the Herald, and they're just pissing off the trolls. And they're like, you're stupid, you're old, this and that. It's like, he's Howie Carr, dude. Like, if you guys are gonna lose that one. He doesn't give a fuck about some trolls, dude. Like, he's like a Boston talk radio legend, conservative too, usually on the side of the police, and he just does not give a shit. He's all in on Free Care Read, all in on it. So yeah, there's that. Next up, we got Jennifer sends $25 and goes, thanks for the extra work. It's hard to stay calm watching this trial live. You, Melanie, and Andrea keep me sane. I know there's so much content to consume. I consume it on the way home. I go back, I listen to Melanie's streams, usually a little farther behind. So I listen to some of that. Better Row was on there today. You know, it was good. Spanky McSpank sends $10, goes, is Kerry Roberts on the defense list? Would they call her later in the trial, perhaps, and then the other text would come out? Doubtful. Peggy's gravelly voice sends $10, goes, any thoughts on Brendan's weird order of witnesses? I have no thoughts. I don't know what the fuck is up with this order of witnesses shit. Like, who's going to be tomorrow? I don't fucking know. So we got a firefighter at the end there. Okay. The one that I think is in love with Kerry Roberts, but okay. I don't get the order at all. Peggy's gravelly voice says that, and says also the last clip of Karen, I thought it actually helped her. It gave her side of that weird interaction with Peggy that morning. And I'm sorry, but like, Peggy, first of all, them putting Peggy on the stand is just such, I get it. I mean, he's playing to win. It's dirty. It's dirty. Sitting up there crying, you know, what's the point of that? Like, she didn't add anything interesting or helpful. So the whole point of that was emotional manipulation. She gets up there and she's supposed to make the jurors feel like, bro, we got to come through for her. We got to throw her a bone. We got to convict her on something, you know, or else that woman's going to be sad. And I don't want to be the reason that woman's sad. She's an old lady. Look at her. She's old. She's all old and shit, you know, like, we can't, but she proved, like, I've never heard her talk. The only words I've ever heard her say are, where's Lindsay? And what the hell is he doing here? That's all I've ever heard from her. She's miserable. I can't stand her. I mean, my thoughts on her are what they are. But, you know, her taking the stand today didn't add much, but it did kind of confirm a couple things. Like, yeah, she was Like I can totally picture her being the miserable mother-in-law. Like she's built for that role. And you know, I don't give a shit about her and her bullshit. Fuck her. Like she's on the side of evil. Like she's proudly friends with the people who quite obviously killed her son. Like if that were my mother and I was killed, my mother would be looking for answers, not like real answers. And she wouldn't be like, oh, I'm just going to be easily manipulated. I mean, you got Jen McCabe is a master manipulator, is she not? For stupid people, though. Like she's good. She's real good at fooling stupid people. And she's very lucky that the guy she helped kill, John O'Keefe, was surrounded by a lot of stupid people. Like there's a lot of stupid people in John's life. His brother, his mom, Kerry Roberts, John Jackson, Tara Kerrigan, although I think her motives are different. You know, some of these are stupid people. And, you know, Jen McCabe sees them and she's like, oh, free lunch. Let's go. So thanks for that. Okay. Tammy sends $10, goes, I uploaded your intro onto Facebook and it immediately got taken down. What the fuck? Don't know about that. Thank you. Wisconsin Farm Gal sends $10 and goes, when Brennan was arguing for the video to come in, he paused and stared at the defense. Any insight on what happened? Yes, I meant to bring that up. So when that's the benefit of being inside the courtroom. So Karen Reed is in his head. So she turned around and she does this thing where she just stares at him. No one else on the defense team does it. None of the lawyers. She just stares at him. And he gets so flustered. So he stopped and like looked at her and stopped for like 10 seconds, like dead in his tracks. Didn't say a word. And it's like, she's just staring at him. It's like, dude, it's like, he's like, so he thinks that like Auntie Bev is going to save him and be like, stop looking at him. She can look wherever the fuck she wants to look. Like she's in your head, dude, in your head. You're taking this way too personally. So anyway, back to this. Next up, we got Megan sends $5, goes, I feel like the defense strategy went from this is corrupt to this is retarded. Yeah, maybe so. Adam sends $10, goes, Guarino's testimony was so anticlimactic today with the recall at the end. I really wanted to see some 𝗲𝗏𝗍. So yeah, I didn't know that's what they were doing, that they were just laying the foundation about phone shit, I think. So, yeah, about the hash value. Honestly, I wasn't even paying attention that much. I did not know that. I would have paid attention more if I knew he wasn't getting cross-examined because it was just boring. All right, next up. Nikki sends $10, goes, vibes of the jury today, ? Any reactions? I'm so biased. I can't judge how the trial is coming off to newbies. Now, there weren't any reactions today like there were yesterday during the Nuttall exchange. So I can't get any vibes on the jury right now. I hope they're getting it. I mean, we're so early though. Like we haven't seen any. We got Kerry and we got Nuttall, but I mean, they're not even top 10 on the most interesting witness list. Who are the most interesting witnesses? They must see Proctor, obviously, Jen McCabe, Brian Albert, Arca, 2. I mean, their new Joe Paul. Or whatever version of Joe Paul they have. Higgins, of course, right? Bukkake, Colin. Like there's so many good ones. Then there's Lucky. Then there's going to be Garrett Wing. There's going to be this new medical examiner. There's so many good ones. So these aren't even like top 10 witnesses that we got today. And they're talking so much about Jennifer McCabe that when they see Jennifer McCabe for the first time, it's going to be like this mythical creature. Like, oh my God, it's real. Wow. There's heard so much about this person. No, I wish I could say there was more juror reactions to it, but I mean, I looked. A couple of them, you know, they weren't as profound as the reactions were yesterday. That's just my opinion of it. But I'll look harder. I don't know who's going tomorrow, so I'll look harder tomorrow and see what happens. All right, next up. Christina sends $10, goes, journalism Jesus, you are direct and a bold advocate for new ways of thinking. You make important local news easy to follow and engaging. Free Karen Reed. Well, thank you, Christina. That's very kind of you. Okay, Goldilocks also sends $10. Thank you for the $10. Next one. Let's see. Nicole sends, did I read this one already? All right, cool. All right. Anyway, thank you for all those donos. All right. Let me read some Cash Apps here. We got Katie sends $15 and says, Kerry Roberts is a lying whore. No lies detected there. No lies detected. She just looks beat up by life too with her eyes. She came across as really cunty today. Just really just annoyed and like, how dare you fucking question me? Yeah, bitch, you lied to you're a perjurer. So there's that. Sean sends $5, goes, maybe make sure Ted is emailing the right address. Oh, I'm sure he is. Abby sends $5 and goes, how is Kerry allowed on Good Morning America this morning? Because it's a free country. You can go anything you want. Thank you, Abby. Chris sends $5, goes, why did Kerry say she grew up with Jen? She said that? I don't think she said that. I think she said she grew up with John, which they're both from Braintree. So thank you, Chris. Elena sends $5 and says, did Kerry Roberts lose her VCRD to John O'Keefe? Is that virginity? Oh, V card. Were they actually a thing? Did he hook up with her? They said, Peggy said that they went to the junior prom together. She remembers that. But I didn't hook up on my junior prom date. Some people just go as friends because you can't find it, because it's you're 16, I mean, you take what you can get, but I don't know. Did they hook up? I mean, I don't know. Will they or won't they? Negative. He says Rich is from Braintree, so he would know better than anyone. Okay, so there's that. Anyway, back to this. Kerry sends $20 and goes, Peggy and Kerry putting the P in the D and E-T. What the fuck? P in the D and E-T. Okay, thank you, Kerry. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Rochelle sends $20, goes, still wondering about William Phelps money. Oh, thanks for the reminder. I got to email a guy about that. Thank you. Stephanie sends $20, goes, thoughts on Spanky's witness list lineup strategy. This was kind of asked before. I don't have any thoughts on it other than like, what the fuck's going on here? I don't know what he's trying to do. It's bizarre. I feel like he's just trying to be like an artist about it too much. I don't know, but we'll see what he does tomorrow. That dude gives me the dirtiest looks in court too. Like he fucking hates me. He's just such a weirdo. He said he's not cool at all. He's not cool. Abby sends $7, goes, what do you think about the videos Hank Brennan is using? Yeah, kind of addressed it already. Wish you didn't have those, because those are annoying. Not gonna lie. I don't think they help at all. I don't think they're necessarily hurting too much. But it's just an unnecessary distraction that isn't needed. So there's that. Ashley sends $5 and says, hi, Skeeter. Free Karen Reed. Love Dan and Ash. Okay. Hey, Skeeter. Katie sends $15. Oh, I already read that one. Kerry Roberts is a lying whore. Barry sends $24.90 for John O'Keefe and says, So thankful for you. Free Karen Reed. Thankful for you too, Barry. Much appreciated. Melinda sends $5 and goes, 𝗄𝗃 sent 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 last night and judge said no. I have no idea what that. 𝗄𝗃 sent 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 last night and judge said no. Okay. Thank you for the $5, Melinda. Debbie sends $20 and goes, Bev calling Kerry Miss McCabe. You're right. Myth. No, that was just the top. That was so poetic and perfect, dude. It was so, and we're going to get to all that. So if anyone else wants their messages read, click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $UncleTurtleBoy, but we need to do some recaps. So we never got to Nuttall yesterday. So we need to do some Nuttall highlights. So we're going to start with that. Then we're going to do Kerry Roberts. And then if we have time, we'll get to Peggy, although she wasn't that interesting. And this guy, the fuck is his name? The firefighter that's in love with Kerry Roberts. He's in love with her. I'm convinced that guy's in love with, like, he remember during the first trial, he was like defending the honor of Kerry Roberts. Karen Reed said something negative about Kerry Roberts in the ambulance with him, and he just never forgot it. Whitley's his name. That's right. Yeah. Also, the Celtics won again, up 2-0. Obviously, good job. No Jason Tatum. Excellent work. Okay, back to this. Let's pull it up.
Mr. Jackson. No. But if all is everybody's in quarters and there's a dispatch in District 1, it'll be Canton Engine 3 and downs. And then once I was
that item is
I believe that's a flagpole, sir.
Do you see a little bit of movement of bodies near that flagpole?
Get to the cross.
At the present time, no.
Okay.
At the time you heard this, just 10 days.
My puffy jacket.
Okay.
I had my
with being punched in the face.
Any significance to you?
No, sir.
Did it reconcile with that item is?
I believe that's a flagpole, sir.
It was in response to Steve.
All right, let me get to the good part.
Sustained from numerous ways.
And
yes, it could be from that. It could be from others as well.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. It could be. In other words, it's consistent with being punched in the face, correct? Thank you.
Score 1. Consistent with being punched in the face is injuries. Off to a good start. All these fucking
exactly where you were. What were you doing, and who was around you?
I was knelt at the head of John O'Keefe with a bag belt mask, delivering ventilations. Firefighter Kelly was to the right, and Firefighter 𝗲𝗏𝗍𝗃 was on the left side of Mr. O'Keefe, and the three of us together were working to perform CPR and ventilations.
And your job, and I hate to butcher it, but you'll correct me.
Yes,
your job was to do the airway, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I'm picturing a big balloon-like apparatus that you put over the patient's mouth.
Exactly.
Squeeze it.
Yes.
That's as opposed to it's an advancement on just mouth-to-mouth
No, I'm not
resuscitation,
gonna
correct?
do that.
Yeah.
You were the airway person doing the squeezing the bag.
Correct.
What was Tony 𝗲𝗏𝗍𝗃, Firefighter 𝗲𝗏𝗍𝗃, doing?
He was starting CPR, and which that point was taken over by Firefighter Kelly.
Okay. So
yeah, let me talk about this because I just don't have time for this about where to get clips. Like it's the thing we got to watch. Like I could probably cut down on the amount of time I do this if I had clips. So I don't know if I like need people to just send me clips, but it's all got to be. We're just going to use the Court TV stream only because they have good audio on that one. They have the pool camera. Maybe people could send me clips. Is there an actual channel just for the clips of the witnesses? Can we do that? Is that what you're saying? Use the trial channel? What's the trial channel? What do I search? Ask everyone to send clips is a bad idea. Is a horrible idea. No offense, Dusty Blue. You have no idea. Like, first of all, I don't have a Facebook account anymore. I don't even know where to ask people to send them to. And that would just end up with so much more work for me because so many people would send the same clips over and over again. And some people would send it from the wrong fucking stream and blah, blah, blah. So I just searched the trial channel on YouTube. Okay, let me go on YouTube. See the trial channel. Okay. Oh. Yeah, there's definitely some. All right, I'll give this a shot. I'll give it a shot.
Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
So my name is Timothy Nuttall. I'm
Okay.
28 years old. I've been a firefighter paramedic for.
Don't give this guy an open mic. It's a big mistake. Okay. So this is just a 2-hour clip of his thing. All right, I want to get to his stuff then.
Photograph, you recognize that
Times you previously testified. Thank you, Your Honor. May I?
Yes, please.
Add with any member of the prosecution team in anticipation of your testimony today.
I believe it was 3, sir.
When were those?
I could not give you dates off the top of my head.
Give me a time frame. Within the last 3 weeks, within the last 3 months, last 3 days?
Within the last 3 weeks. I believe one the week after that, and then one last night.
One
last night.
Last night. What you did discuss, let's take them in order.
One female, one twice.
He was the one that formally, or he has formally interviewed you previously, correct?
I believe he arranged only in that sort of realm. The I hit him came up. It was 3 times.
And
last year.
All right. As a matter of fact, last year in this courtroom.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you look over your testimony at the grand jury 3 weeks ago during that meeting?
No, sir.
What about the testimony from last year?
We did go over the testimony from last year. Yes, sir.
Were there any issues that Mr. Brennan or anybody else in that meeting brought up concerning any of your testimony?
There was just a question of how many times the I hit him came up. It was 3 times.
And were you
3
advised
times,
that that's not what you said at your testimony last year?
No,
Two
sir.
times?
What was that?
You said it was 2 times last year?
I honestly can't recall, sir.
Okay. But you just saw that, or you just read that and went over that 3 weeks ago.
I believe so, sir. Yeah.
But you can't remember, as you sit here today, just 3 weeks ago, what y'all discussed in terms of how many times you previously testified that you heard the phrase, I hit him.
So previously testified possibly to 2, but it was 3.
Okay. Your memory is clearer now than it was, for instance, a year ago when you testified.
Repeat that?
Sure. Your memory is clearer now, as you sit here, that it was 3 times you heard that, than it was a year ago when you testified that it was 2 times.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does your memory get better with time generally? Your memory. I'm not talking about the royal you. I'm talking about you.
In certain settings, I mean, there are certain things about different aspects that I recall better than others.
Okay. And
Like, this is just wild. Why? I don't understand why he's changing his testimony. What? Like, why? Other than discrediting himself. Why did? So he's saying now that it was 2 times, but and he's saying now it's 3 times before he said it was 2 times. Why? Why not just stick with 2? Why not? Like, why not just be like, oh yeah, I was mistaken, it was 2. I meant to say 2. Why not just say that? It would save him so much fucking embarrassment, and his credibility could be saved if he just said like, oh yeah, I meant to say 2. That was a slip of the tongue. She said it twice, you know, instead of saying, oh yeah, like, actually my memory gets better over time. I'm this rare species of animal that my memory gets better. This guy is not like in on the cover up or whatever. That's ridiculous. I don't even think he's a Cantonite like originally, but he's just stubborn. And he's just one of these people that can't ever admit that he's wrong. That's all he is. And he's just a talker. He doesn't shut the fuck up, you know? And and he's young too. Younger people are always right. Like, he's 28 years old. That's young, you know? And he just doesn't want to admit that he could possibly be mistaken. That's it. And it's really easy to just be mistaken. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not that big a deal if you were just wrong. But you can't get up there and insist that you're, oh, no, 100%. Oh, yeah, right.
And does your memory tend to get better, or does it fade over time? That's my question.
It can fade over time, but it depends on the context.
But in this case, you're telling this jury that your memory is better now than it was a year ago when you testified about the exact same circumstance, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Why would you say that?
You then met about a week after that, which would be 2 weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
Who'd you meet with then?
The same group.
And what did you discuss at that meeting?
Again, just prior testimony. And that was really the gist of it.
And tell me the specifics of the prior testimony that you
Again, it was the how many times we had talked about saying I hit him. Again, it was 3 times. And then there was also the video that was just played for me.
If I'll take the video in just a second. If y'all had met 3 weeks ago and you indicated to Mr. Brennan that it was actually 3 times, not 2 times that you heard the I hit him, why did you need to discuss it again a week later to verify the 3 times versus 2 times?
I'm not sure, sir. That was just the way the conversation went. And I just, again, repeated what I said and what I remember from that morning.
Well, tell me about that conversation. Did Mr. Brennan say anything like, well, are you really sure that she said it 3 times?
It was that morning what was said to you. And I said, I hit him. That was how it went that morning, and that was how I remember it.
Okay, and did Mr. Brennan say, well, that's not consistent with how you've testified previously concerning the number of times you heard the I hit him phrase?
Yes, sir.
He did say that.
He wanted to, he acknowledged that I had said it twice. However, again, as I mentioned, it was said 3 times to me.
So now you do remember last year that you only said it.
So Brennan was basically like giving him an out. Like, dude, I mean, Brennan, to his credit, is like meticulous with the shit. He learned this case quickly. So he read this previous testimony. He's like, you only said that twice. And he knows Alan Jackson's going to be up your ass if you say it was 3 times this time. Basically, Brennan's giving this dude an out. Like, dude, you sure you want to say 3? Maybe you should say 2. But because he's so stubborn, he's basically, nope, 3. I no offense to anyone on the spectrum, but this motherfucker's got to be on the spectrum. I mean, some shit's going on with this guy. He ain't right. Like something's wrong with this guy.
You only said that it was repeated twice.
One more time, sir.
So now you do recall that last year when you testified, it was inconsistent with how you're testifying today. Let me put it that way, correct?
I believe I said I hit him twice on the stand last year.
Right. And if you're saying I hit him 3 times instead of twice, that firefighter Nuttall is inconsistent with your testimony today, correct? You
Yes,
agree
sir.
with that?
That is how it went that morning, though, sir.
Okay, that's not my question. Let me see if I can do it again. So I'm asking you, if you testified last year,
yes, sir,
that you heard the phrase twice, and now a year goes by and you're testifying in front of this jury this year that you heard it 3 times, those 2 statements are inconsistent with one another, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you talk at the meeting 2 weeks ago about any other inconsistencies with your testimony?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
Well, you were there. You say not to my knowledge, meaning
Twitch
No, sir,
motherfucker.
we did not.
Oh
okay.
my god.
So it was just about the number of times that you heard the phrase "I hit him." Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You cleared that up in the 2 meetings, 3 weeks ago and 2 weeks ago. What did you talk about last night?
Mostly just making sure that everything was as it had been. I mean, and by that I mean it was 3 times, and that we were continuously making sure that everything was the way that it had happened that morning.
Everything was the way that Mr. Brennan wanted it to be.
No, sir. The way that it was in, I remember it, and I recall it happening.
Okay. So he asked you 3 weeks ago about how many times you heard that phrase.
Yes, sir.
You changed your testimony at that time and said it was 3 times instead of 2 times. We agree on that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Then he called you a week later, or met with you a week later, and again reiterated, making sure you stick with that testimony that it's 3 times, not 2 times, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then last night he called you just to make sure one more time you're going to stick with that testimony that it was 3 times, not 2 times, correct?
Yes, sir.
Like Brennan was giving him so many outs. I did not even pick up on this. This is why I like rewatching this shit. It's like, holy shit. Brennan was like, dude, we don't need the unnecessary distraction. Just say, sure you don't want to say 2? Are you sure you don't want to say 2? And he's like, nope. It was 3. It was 3. 3. 3. And Brennan's like, maybe it was 2. Nope. 3. 3 times. 3 times. Oh my God. This Twitch motherfucker.
Just a second, may I have just a moment? Yes. Collection is, I'm going to tell the jurors it was 3 times that I heard it.
That was what I heard.
Okay. Did you tell him that's what you were going to say today?
No, sir.
You didn't?
I told him I was going to tell him what I remembered from that morning.
I just spit out
hit him,
my
I hit him,
coffee
I hit
at 3 to
Which is how many
2.
times?
3
I
times,
just
sir.
And
spit
that's
out my
inconsistent with
coffee. Oh
Believe me
my
or not.
God.
Now, you also talked about, I want to get back to the other thing that you talked about. You said
Come
at
on.
some point,
I
either in
literally
the
spit my
meeting
fucking-
3 weeks ago, the meeting 2 weeks ago, or the meeting last night, you were shown a video.
Yes, sir.
Which one of those meetings were you shown a video?
I believe the second one.
Okay. Were you shown the entire video?
No, sir.
Just the clip that we saw?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did y'all talk about in relation to that video?
Mostly nailing down who was who in that video.
Okay.
Being the other personnel on scene, where I was, and that was about it.
He showed you the clip that you showed. He showed you the clip that you just seen on direct examination, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell him where you were?
Yes, sir.
Did Mr. Brennan ask you to define exactly where it was that you supposedly heard this phrase, "I hit him"?
No, I was able to give that to him, sir.
Okay. And what you told him was that moment when you see my client walk over sort of to the left of the screen, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you defined that's the point at which she said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Yes, sir.
And that's in response to your question. I want to make sure I'm clear about this. You asked, do you know him?
Yes, sir.
And she repeated the phrase 3 times, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Correct.
Okay. We'll talk more about that in just a second. Did Mr. Brennan ask anything else about that specific video?
No, like I said, he kind of asked me to point out different. I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is the first time that you've seen it.
Yes, sir.
And you were able to establish for Mr. Brennan exactly when it was that you believe you heard the statement based on your view about 2 weeks ago of that video.
No, that was the way that I remember it.
Right. That's not a trick question.
Again, this is here he is. That's the Nuttall face right there. But it's looking at those videos, it's like they were I watched this last time, 11 months ago when we listened to this guy talk for the first time. He's had 11 months to get his story straight. He had a problem last time in that the time when he claims Karen Reed said, I hit him, is not the same as 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗏𝗺's time. 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗏𝗺 says it happened at 6:14 when John was being wheeled into the ambulance. This guy says it happened at 6:06 or whatever when he first got there. So it's inconsistent. And you just got to get it right. But this guy's just like, no, I'm always right. He's like, I swear to God, something's wrong with this guy.
My question is much more simple. You were able to establish after 3.5 years now exactly where you were and where Miss Reed was and who else was around at the time that you believe you heard those 3 statements in order. I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You testified last year as well that there is a normal protocol for removing clothing from a patient, and it's essential to just discard it and get it away from the patient so that you can concentrate on the life-saving measures that you're undertaking, correct?
Yes,
that could be done you said in the ambulance, it could be done in the hospital, it could be done in situ, out there in the field, correct?
Yes, sir.
But the point is you want to get as much clothing off of the person as possible so that you can assess that person's physiology.
Yes, sir.
There's not really a lot of care taken to preserve the clothing from an evidentiary standpoint, in your view, correct?
And we're trained to try and, just to take example of a shooting, try not to cut through the entrance.
Wow. Yes. Might end up with some debris on it. Yep. Might end up on the floor of the ambulance.
Yes, sir.
Could end up on the floor of the hospital. Is that yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You testified previously at the grand jury in April of 2022, correct?
Yes, I believe so, sir.
Okay. So this happened in January 2022, that same year in the springtime. You testified at the grand jury.
Yes.
That night that you responded?
It was.
We just seen the video. It looks cold as hell, right?
It was chilly.
All right. The wind was howling.
Yep.
It was snowing. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you testified that John O'Keefe, quote, had a heavy coat on and possibly 2 other layers of clothing.
Yes, sir.
In April 2024, you reiterated your very specific memory of and you even called it a puffy heavy coat that he was wearing, which was then removed so that you could assess his injuries, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we all know during the first trial, he was insistent about the puffy coat. That's what he was known for, the puffy coat. And of course, there was no puffy coat. So now he's at 11 months to realize, like, yeah, I can't stick with that one. Like, there's no puffy coat. Like, because I don't know what to say. He's like, I got it. Even he has to admit that one was wrong. He knows it's coming too.
All right. Not to get too colloquial, but a puffy coat is like it's got down and stuff in it, right?
Correct.
Looks kind of like Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pretty distinctive article of clothing. Yep. And you testified last year that Mr. O'Keefe was wearing that clothing, which you had to remove or somebody had to remove in order for him to be properly assessed.
I did testify that way, yes, sir.
Okay. And you mentioned that your memory of that big heavy winter coat was as clear as your memory of other specifics in this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
I asked you that exact question, didn't I?
You did.
And I said, your memory of him having that big puffy coat on, which stood out in your mind, was just as clear as the other specifics that you've testified to about the case.
Yes, sir.
About that night. And turns out you were completely wrong about his clothing, correct?
Correct.
Matter of fact, he wasn't wearing a coat at all.
No, sir.
He wasn't wearing a winter coat, correct?
Nope.
He wasn't wearing a heavy winter coat.
Nope.
Correct?
Correct.
And he wasn't wearing a puffy, heavy winter coat.
He was not.
Yet you testified that he was wearing all of that, and that was clear in your mind at the time.
Yes, sir.
Did Mr. Brennan bring that up during the meeting 3 weeks ago?
He asked about what I had meant when I said appropriately dressed.
So you did talk about something other than just, I hit him, right?
Yes, sir.
When I asked what y'all talked about, why didn't you tell us that?
To be perfectly honest, sir, I did not remember until right now.
I don't remember.
So your memory is
like, dude, he is just walking. He walks into every trap that he sets for him. He's like, oh, my memory is flawless. 5 seconds later, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. Like, dude, you
stating even after 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Yes, sir.
When I asked what y'all talked about, why didn't you tell us that?
To be perfectly honest, sir, I did not remember until right now.
So your memory is fading even after 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Got it. The fact is,
Oh my God.
well, let me ask you a different question. Did Mr. Brennan tell you what Mr. O'Keefe was actually wearing?
No, sir. Actually, I believe you did.
Last year, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
It's a short sleeve T-shirt and a little thin wool hoodie, right?
Yes, sir.
Wasn't wearing a hat.
No, sir.
Wasn't wearing. Matter of fact, didn't even have a shoe on. Correct.
Not to my knowledge.
That obviously goes without saying, but I'm going to ask it anyway. That's not being appropriately dressed for the winter.
No, sir.
Unless you're Brian Tully. Unless you're Brian Tully.
You indicated that you did notice certain injuries on Mr. O'Keefe's person.
Sir.
Once you got him back in the ambulance, obviously it's lighter, meaning brighter lights. You have more equipment in the back of the ambulance. You can better assess somebody's well-being, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you indicated you had a, quote, much better picture of what we were dealing with, correct?
Yes.
You noticed once in the back of the ambulance that he had trauma to the right side of his head.
Correct.
And as a matter of fact, when you were pointing at it, I'm doing that on purpose because you pointed to the right side of your sort of forehead above your right eyebrow, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The majority or the worst injury that Mr. O'Keefe suffered was actually to the back of his head, which you indicated, you noted was quite matted with blood, correct?
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about the injury to the right side of his head as distinct from the back of the head injury.
Okay.
You also noted the front right side of the head above the right eye, correct?
We did.
You noted some injury to his eyes. They looked blackened.
Yes, sir.
But primarily the right eye was. Is that right?
Sir.
You indicated on direct examination today that you believe those scratches ended where? Meaning from top to bottom? And I'm not using anatomically correct language. So from shoulder to wrist, where were the scratches that you noted?
There were several. As I noted, they were on his right humerus area.
Tell me what a humerus is.
Right on.
Biceps.
Right about here.
Okay.
No, a little further, like where your bicep and your tricep kind of meet. Right about in there.
Okay. And what did the scratches look like?
They were deep. Infamously referred to them as furrows. But they were quite deep.
Infamous,
you can tell.
Infamously. My testimony was infamous, guys. I referred to them as that. The fact that he says that is like, I'm famous, right? They infamously that they were deep. As soon as I heard that deep, it's like Hanky's got to be like, fuck. Deep is the wrong answer. Like you don't, deep is what a dog does. A dog goes deep. A dog sticks his teeth in there and presses down because he's got jaws, so it goes deep. Whereas taillight, first of all, taillight's not going to do fucking anything, but it's definitely not going to go deep. It would not be what they did. Like, stop it. Stop it. Wrong answer.
That there had been some material removed.
Okay. Material meaning skin and flesh.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Some biological material.
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes, sir.
And were they parallel? Meaning they were going in the same direction?
Yes.
Were there any scratches below the elbow?
There were. Yes, there were. They were not as significant as the ones on the upper arm, but they were noted.
Okay. And those were parallel as well?
Yes, sir.
And they looked like scratches to you. That's how you described them?
They did.
Last year, when you described those scratches, you curled your fingers up, exposing sort of the nails, and drew it across your biceps. Is that what you were using to describe what the sort of scratches look like?
I just kind of used that as a landmark, to be honest with you, sir. It was just kind of how I quantified it in my mind.
Okay. But what you did was you did this motion.
Yes, sir.
As you said, there were furrows. And remember, there was an embarrassing moment for me.
Both of us, sir.
I couldn't understand the word furrow because of the accent. Right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
God.
Let's talk a little bit about the hematoma above the right eye for a second. That's basically damage to subdural blood vessels that causes acute swelling, right?
Correct.
And a very common cause of a hematoma over one's eye could be being hit or punched in the face. We talked about that.
There could be several causes for hematoma, such as that.
Obviously. I mean, it could be a golf club, a baseball bat, or it could be a fist.
Could be.
Okay. We talked about that last year. I asked you if the injuries you saw on Mr. O'Keefe's face, including the laceration over his right eye, was consistent or inconsistent with a physical altercation, and you said it was consistent with a physical altercation as well.
Excuse me?
Objection referring to past testimony before a question is asked.
So sustained.
Sure. Do you remember a laceration, in addition to the hematoma, about a 0.8 centimeter laceration over his right eye?
I do.
Tell me I'm using a word that maybe not everybody understands. I didn't understand it when we first started this thing. What's a laceration? What's the difference between that and a cut?
A laceration is they're basically the same thing. Laceration is just a deep cut.
Okay. So it's a parting of the skin.
Correct.
In other words, where the skin separates.
Yes.
And that can be from blunt force trauma, meaning something hits it rather than cuts it.
You can get
sustained.
What?
That hematoma.
That is primarily caused by blunt force trauma.
Right. And the hematoma and the laceration were right next to each other, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you indicated last year, or let me ask you this way. Is that consistent or inconsistent with a physical altercation?
Objection.
Can you answer that?
I could not say, Your Honor.
Okay, next question.
Well, last year, you indicate you can't answer that. Last year, you did answer, didn't you?
Objection.
So I need to see consulate sidebar for just a minute.
Saving the day. So Auntie Bev.
Okay. You did mention earlier today the EMTs that were with you that responded to the scene. You mentioned, I think you said Anthony Flamati, correct?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned
Kelly.
and I want to say Matt Kelly.
Yep.
Yourself.
Correct.
And of the three of you, two of the three of you were and are paramedics firefighter 𝗵𝗵𝗻𝗃 and yourself, correct?
Correct.
Do you know the name Katie McLaughlin?
I do.
Who is
Oh,
Katie
yeah.
McLaughlin?
She is a firefighter paramedic for the town of Canton.
Was she also?
She's
She was.
She's a
You
whore.
didn't mention her this morning.
It did not come up. She responded on the initial dispatch on engine 3.
You were
He said that like, do you know what Katie McLaughlin? Oh yeah, she's a hoe. She's the that's what we call her. She's the engine hoe. That's what we we run train on her on Tuesdays. That's who Katie McLaughlin is.
asked you were asked who responded with you, correct?
Yes, sir.
By Mr. Brennan.
Yes, sir.
And you mentioned yourself. You mentioned Tony 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗍. You mentioned Matt Keller.
Yes, myself, firefighter 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗍 and firefighter Kelly responded in ambulance 1 together.
Okay. And how did firefighter McLaughlin respond?
So she was assigned to engine 3 that night. She was with Lieutenant Woodbury and firefighter paramedic Frank Walsh.
Is she also, in addition to Walsh being, it's Frank Walsh?
Yes, sir.
In addition to firefighter Walsh being a paramedic, Katie McLaughlin was also a paramedic.
Correct.
So she responded to the scene at the same time as you, generally, but in a different ambulance.
In a fire truck, in a piece of fire apparatus. She was on engine 3.
Got it. Engine 3. Okay. And she was with you, generally, when I say with you, at the scene during the entire time that you're describing the events that you described with Mr. Brennan on direct examination.
For the most part.
Okay. She then left in a particular ambulance, correct?
Yes, so she ended up driving ambulance 1 to Good Samaritan.
And ambulance 1 was which ambulance?
Ambulance 1 was the initial ambulance that myself, firefighter Kelly, and firefighter 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗍 responded in.
So right after the scene you described, as you're leaving the scene, firefighter McLaughlin is in the ambulance with you and firefighter 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗍, correct?
She is driving. So the 3 of us are in the back of the patient compartment. She is up front in the driver's seat.
Once at the hospital.
Who, if anyone, was driving the ambulance? If anyone. Anyway, that's the most.
Firefighter McLaughlin going to the hospital with the other firefighters.
I believe so, yes.
So she was with you in the engine. She was, although in the driving cab. She was with you, ambulance in the driving cab. She was also with you right after the scene at the hospital, correct?
Yes, sir.
And she was also debrief.
Sure.
You had the same types of discussions with firefighter Kelly, Matt Kelly.
Yes, sir.
I'm guessing that you probably had the same sorts of discussions with firefighter Walsh.
I actually don't know if I saw firefighter Walsh when we got back. The weather was right at shift change, and the weather getting back was also getting worse. So I honestly couldn't speak to that.
And you also had conversations with firefighter McLaughlin after you cleared up the hospital and got back to the station as well.
She was part of the debrief. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So what's he getting at here? Well, McLaughlin is the source of I hit him. No one on January 29th, not a single person claims that Karen Reed said I hit him. And a lot of people spoke with the police that day. Not a single one of them said anything about I hit him. That includes the police officers who were there as well. Nobody said that. The nexus of I hit him was Katie McLaughlin on January 30th. Katie McLaughlin was introduced to Michael Proctor by Kevin Albert, his drinking buddy, who was supposed to be recused off of the case because of the conflict, but instead he's like, oh, I've got a firefighter for you. There's 8 firefighters who testified at the last trial, but the one that I want you to meet the most is Katie McLaughlin, who was not the first firefighter on the scene, but she's good friends with my niece, Caitlin, who was in the house that night, and she's got something to tell you. She's got something to tell you. I would love to go. I wonder, there had to be communications between Caitlin and Katie McLaughlin on January 29th at some point. How else explain to me how Kevin Albert got Katie McLaughlin. They got to call Kevin Albert, first of all. That's a witness they must call in this trial. But explain to me how Kevin Albert got Katie McLaughlin to Michael Proctor. Explain that one to me. I want to hear the steps that led up to that. I want to see, because I don't think they're best buds. I don't think Kevin Albert is hanging out with Katie McLaughlin on the weekends. He's a lot older than her, a little bit weird. So how? It has to be through his niece, Caitlin Albert. It has to be. I want to know more about that, but go ahead. And again, what he's getting at here is Katie McLaughlin, January 30th says this for the first time. You don't say it till February 8th. When you speak with Proctor, that's when you claim that she said, I hit him. So you're telling me that for 10 days after John O'Keefe was killed, you just kept this to yourself that, oh yeah, you heard a confession at the scene? No, you had heard it from McLaughlin so many times by then that it just became fact in your head. Like with Kerry Roberts, it's just like, oh yeah, you know what happened today? Yeah. She did ask Karen to Google that at 6:24. She did ask Jen to Google that at 6:24. Did I hear her saying that? I think so. Yeah, right. I heard that. Oh no, wait, I didn't actually hear that. So why am I so sure of that? I don't know, because I've just said it so many times. So, like, that's how memory works. They just hear it so many times, and it's just like, yeah, that's what happened, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah, and you don't even question, like, wait a minute, have I did it? And I think that's what happened with this guy in 𝗵𝗻𝗻𝗇.
And all of you discussed what you did, saw, and heard, generally speaking, while at the scene, correct?
Those are more in terms of getting equipment wrangled, really kind of how they go. What do we use? What do we need? What are we going to have to restock when we get back?
Right. But there also was obviously discussions about what had just happened. I mean, you were dealing with a dead or dying police officer on a lawn, on a snow-covered lawn in a cold environment.
I honestly couldn't speak to that, sir. I honestly don't remember.
It's because you don't remember, correct?
Well, like I said, it's mostly those debriefs are usually they're very equipment oriented because the goal at that point is to get back in service.
My question is not about the equipment. Obviously, you're going to discuss the equipment, make sure that the ambulance is ready for the next call, etc. I'm asking about a general debrief with the fellow firefighters, male and female, that you were with at that scene. You're telling me that you don't remember debriefing and discussing the incident and your observations at the incident following that incident.
No, sir.
Okay, but your memory, you indicated earlier, gets better with time, right?
Yes, sir.
You don't remember it as you sit here today?
Ask the question again.
Sure. Do you remember discussing with firefighter 𝗵𝗻𝗻𝗇, firefighter 𝗵𝗿𝗄, firefighter Kelly, firefighter McLaughlin, any of them, your observations and what happened while at the scene after you cleared the hospital and got back to the station?
No, sir.
Have no memory of that whatsoever?
No, sir.
None. Okay.
When we left off before lunch, I was asking you about a hematoma and a laceration over the right eye of Mr. O'Keefe.
I couldn't speak to how that injury occurred.
Is it consistent? Are those injuries, just those injuries, are those consistent with being punched in the face?
Those injuries could be sustained from numerous ways. And yes, it could be from that. It could be from others as well.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. It could be. In other words, it's consistent with being punched in the face, correct?
Reasonable doubt. That is reasonable doubt. I don't think he's allowed to say it then, but that's the perfect example. It could be. If it could be something else, then that's reasonable doubt. It could be. The injuries could have come from something else. I think it's way more than could. I think it's 1000% what happened just fucking looking at him. I know what somebody looks like when they've gotten a fight. It looks like that. That's what it looks like. He looks like somebody that went fight. That's what Paul O'Keefe initially thought as well. But as long as it could be something else, that's all that matters.
When you heard the statement, describe for me exactly where you were.
Oh, here we
what
go.
Were you doing?
This is where it gets
Who was
good.
around you?
I was knelt at the head of John O'Keefe with a bag valve mask, delivering ventilations. Firefighter Kelly was to the right, and firefighter 𝗵𝗻𝗻𝗇 was on the left side of Mr. O'Keefe, and the three of us together were working to perform CPR and ventilations.
And your job, I hate to butcher it, but you'll correct me.
Yes, sir.
Your job was to do the airway, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I'm picturing a big balloon-like apparatus that you put over the patient's mouth.
Exactly.
Yes. That's as opposed to it's an advancement on just mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
You were the airway person doing the squeezing of the bag.
Correct.
What was Tony 𝗵𝗻𝗻𝗇, firefighter 𝗵𝗻𝗻𝗇, doing?
He was starting CPR, and which that point was taken over right on top of the sternum, and you begin doing.
Which means that is a rhythmic pumping motion, correct?
Yes, sir.
So if you see someone doing CPR,
I had my puppy jacket. I had my Canton Fire jacket.
got it. Firefighter 𝗵𝗻𝗻𝗇, on the other hand, had a bright yellow jacket.
Correct.
Sort of reflective and a safety jacket.
Yes, sir.
And he was kneeling to your left at the time doing, have I got that right?
No, you got that right.
Okay, he's kneeling to your left at the time doing chest compressions. That's when you indicate that Miss Reed walked over and made the statement.
Correct.
And Kelly was there as well.
Yes, sir.
Kneeling right beside all three of you as firefighter 𝗵𝗻𝗻𝗇 was giving the chest compressions, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's a problem. So now he's narrowed it down because this guy's so insistent that he had to be right. He's like, no, it happened at this exact time. It happened when me, 𝗵𝗻𝗻𝗇, and Kelly were all kneeling down doing chest compressions on John O'Keefe. Except Kelly is going to testify, as he did at the last trial, that Karen Reed never said, I hit him. That's what he testified. He was the best of all the firefighters. He was the most insistent that I hit him did not occur. And so now it's just like, bro, what? Okay, now he's locked in. That's the moment it happened.
You indicated that the statement was in response to a question that you asked of my client. Do you know him?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Correct.
And she responded to you with the phrase that you've used. I hit him. Right. So it's absolutely clear in your mind when that statement was made. You were knelt down over Mr. O'Keefe Firefighter 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗏 was doing the CPR, and Kelly was with the both of you when you posed that question.
Yes, sir.
It's a very detailed memory.
Yes, sir.
You indicated, Mr. Brennan, that sticks out in your mind. Is that right?
It does.
But that's not at all what you told Trooper Proctor on February 8th, just 10 days after this incident, is it?
I don't recall what I told Trooper Proctor.
I thought your memory got better with time.
I don't recall that meeting. I recall meeting with him, but I don't recall the extent of what was discussed.
You literally don't recall anything that was discussed in that meeting in that formal interview with the lead detective on this case.
We discussed the case, but I don't, in his words, I'm not sure what he put down.
What you said to Trooper Proctor on February 8th, 10 days after this, was you overheard Miss Reed say, "I hit him" one time to another female that she was talking to. Correct? Objection.
I'll allow it. Did you say that?
I have no memory of this, Your Honor.
Okay, next question.
Did you say that her statement was an answer to a question posed by the female or discussion with the female?
Break that down for me, sir.
Oh, God.
Did you tell Trooper Proctor on February 8th that what you heard was Karen Reed speaking to a female, not answering a question that you posed?
Again, I don't recall that. That's
because that's what Proctor's report says. Proctor's report says that Nuttall told him that he overheard Karen telling a female, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him." That has since changed to she said it to us. So that's different. So now this is what they all do. They all say, "Oh, well, the police report's just wrong." I mean, I can't tell you how many times this has happened. Every other case, it's like details like matter and things get thrown out when mistakes are made and people get acquitted when they shouldn't on technicalities like this. With this case, everything's fucked up and it's still like, geez, this is a coin flip. I don't really know what's going on here.
Specific question.
Did you tell Trooper Proctor on February 8th while you were rendering aid and at the time you heard the statement, Miss Reed was actually praying over John? Your words, praying over John.
I don't recall ever saying that.
Oh, look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at the twitching.
Yes.
Look at the twitching.
Did you say that you observed Karen Reed to have blood on her face from providing mouth-to-mouth breaths to Mr. O'Keefe prior to your arrival?
I remember Miss Reed having blood on her face, presumably from attempting CPR.
Do you remember telling Trooper Proctor on February 8th that you saw her with blood on her face from CPR?
I do.
So you remember that portion of your conversation with Trooper Proctor, correct?
Yes, sir.
But the praying over John, praying over the victim, you don't remember.
I don't remember ever saying that.
And
ever.
And the statement, "I hit him" to another female, you also don't remember that.
No, sir.
Would it refresh your recollection if you were to look at a report offered by Trooper Proctor? Ma'am?
Yes. Take a look at that.
Yes, sir.
Does that refresh your recollection about your conversation with Trooper Proctor that you put in a report?
It does not, sir.
What?
So as you sit here, you have no memory of what you just read in this report from Trooper Proctor, the lead investigator on the case.
I have no recollection of ever saying that anybody prayed over anybody ever in this case.
You did see it in this report, though.
Sustained.
You've admitted under oath that your memory of the events at that time, from that time frame, January, February 2022, is faulty, correct?
No, sir.
Sorry.
In your April 2024, it's April 30th, 2024 testimony from last year, you were asked whether or not your memory was a little faulty, and your answer was absolutely, correct?
Could I have a page and number,
Where is
please?
that, Mr. Jackson?
Volume 8, page 151, lines 14.
If we could pose the entire question. And
Give you the opportunity. I'm Go ahead.
Is it true that, in answer to the question, quote, "So it's fair to say your memory is a little bit faulty as it pertains to that time frame," your answer was absolutely, correct?
From last year?
What you testified to last year
Oh, my God.
about conversations that you had with Trooper Proctor around February 8th of 2022.
Yes, sir.
And you would agree, as you sit here, that your memory is still faulty about your conversation with him.
With Trooper Proctor? Yes, sir.
So you're not saying you didn't say that the statement was made to a woman, correct?
Yeah.
Are you saying that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, next question.
Thank you. And you're also not saying that you didn't say to Trooper Proctor that you saw Karen Reed praying over John O'Keefe.
Objection.
So I'd like you to answer that differently. Did you say that?
I have no recollection of saying that ever.
Next question.
My point is, if you have no recollection of it, you're not denying saying it.
objection.
Are you denying saying it?
Yes.
Oh.
So you do have a recollection that you never said it.
What?
Do you understand the difference?
Oh, sir, I don't believe I've ever said praying. That's really not something that I would have said. I didn't see it that day. It didn't happen. I don't remember ever saying prayed.
Proctor lying?
You didn't
in
see
regards
it
to this case ever.
You didn't see it that day.
No, in
and
fairness, Proctor does lie a lot. Like he lies in reports all the time. So I mean, he seems pretty insistent that he never said this, and I kind of believe him. I don't know, but it's just you can't trust anything this
never
guy
happened.
says.
That was your words just now, correct?
Break that down for me.
You didn't see it that day, and it never happened. That's what you're saying about the praying statement, correct?
Yes, sir.
And in that same exact statement, you also included the phrase, "I hit him," correct?
No, sir.
In the statement that you made to Trooper Proctor?
The report that Trooper Proctor wrote?
Correct.
Again, I don't remember ever saying the words praying over him. I do distinctly remember I hit him.
Which doesn't appear in that report, does it?
Gotcha.
I'm going to sustain that, Mr. Jackson. You directed him only to page 2.
Understood, Your Honor. I'd like to show you a short portion of a video, the same video that you were asked to look at.
Here we go.
Direct examination.
Here we
Your
go.
Honor, I pray to the court, I can certainly mark it. Can we have it on that screen as well? It appears that this is.
I don't know. When Ms. Gilman did it, it was both.
Okay, there we go. All right, before we play it, can I ask you a quick question about this?
Sure.
It appears that this is paused. Do you recognize this as being the same video that you were shown this morning by Mr. Brennan?
I do.
All right, describe the scene.
So that is 34 Fairview Road. The lights in the background, I believe it is either right as we pulled up or right as we're pulling up.
Okay, same dash cam video.
Yes, sir.
Can we scroll this to the 6:55 runtime spot, please? Pause it. Okay. Do you see the individual on the left? Far, far, far left.
The jacket?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Who's that?
I believe that's firefighter 𝗏𝗏.
You previously indicated that when you heard Ms. Reed make this statement, the firefighter 𝗏𝗏 was on his knees providing CPR at the same time you were knelt down providing the airway.
This isn't when it was
That's
stated.
not my question. Is that what you said?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure.
Oh my
You
God.
indicated earlier,
Oh
when
my
you heard
God.
this statement by my client, we're very detailed. Firefighter 𝗏𝗏 was knelt down providing chest compressions at the same time you were knelt down providing airway support for Mr. O'Keefe, correct?
I had also said that at some point,
That's a
firefighter
yes or no
𝗏𝗏
question.
had
Yes or no?
So I'm going to let the witness answer the question.
transferred
Oh my
CPR to
God.
firefighter Kelly. Firefighter Kelly did take over compressions at one point.
Okay, that's not my question. My question is an easy one. Did you say that when Ms. Reed walked over to you and you had this dialogue with her, she made that statement that firefighter 𝗏𝗏 was on his knees providing chest compressions at the same time you were knelt down providing airway support?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Firefighter 𝗏𝗏, your testimony appears to be standing up right there, correct?
Yes, sir.
Let's play the video forward for just a second. Stop it. What did you see firefighter 𝗏𝗏 do just now?
I believe he just knelt down.
Okay. So at this point, he's kneeling for the first time, correct?
Yes, sir.
And he's about to provide chest compressions as your memory serves, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go ahead and play it forward. Pause.
Look at Jen McCabe. Do you see all this is the whole fucking time? Jen McCabe. The whole fucking time she sees anybody, just immediately goes over to them. It's just shut the fuck up. Oh my God. Cool as a cucumber, this one. Meanwhile, I pointed this out earlier. It is eerie how dark 34 Fairview Road is. It is just eerie how every single light is turned off and not a single person in that house. There was more. There was a dog. There was Brian Albert Jr. There was who else? I guess that's all. Right. And because Caitlin Albert got the fuck out of there, probably with the dog, let's be honest. And then there's Brian and Nicole after a long night of shagging. Were deep in their slumber, probably naked still from all the fucking that they did that night. It's just eerie how dark that house is. And if you're Jen McCabe again, you see John O'Keefe, this guy you love, right? You love him. He's fucking dead as a doorknob right there. And you're so confused because what the fuck happened? Wow. Holy shit. I'm so confused. Why aren't you going into that house immediately? I'm sorry. This is her sister's house. If I find a dead body on the lawn of my sister's house, the first thing I'm doing is going in the house, especially considering that we know that Jennifer McCabe called her sister at 6:07 and 6:08. That's not in dispute. Everybody agrees with that. The disagreement about is whether or not Nicole Albert answered those calls. But 6:07, 6:08, she calls. Her story is she doesn't answer. That's a little bit concerning. Okay, so they're not answering, right? 6:23. 16 minutes later, she calls Brian Albert. She has not gone inside yet. It's 16 minutes later. She calls Brian Albert. Maybe he'll answer the phone. He doesn't answer. How the fuck aren't you running in that side of the house? How are you not immediately running inside that house to make sure they're okay? There's a fucking dead man on the yard. Did what the fuck happened? Did they kill John and then they went inside and they robbed the place? Maybe like don't you have questions? Don't you have questions? Right? But what I hope they're okay. I left here like a couple hours at 1:45. I hope they're okay. They're not answering the phone. I'm worried about them. Aren't you worried a little bit? And you're not running into that house. Instead, you're doing this thing. Hands are always fucking going all over the place. Oh, yeah, go to everybody. It's just like, dude, this defies common sense. Anybody in this situation would go in that fucking house. It's your sister. Is she okay? Nobody's answering the phones. Go in the house.
See my client in that photo? I mean, I'm sorry, in that clip?
No, sir.
You didn't see her?
Oh, no, I did see her. Yeah. I don't see her on right now.
Right. She just walked off frame, correct? Sir. Let's go ahead and play it forward. Stop it. You see my client walk back into the frame?
Yes, sir.
At this point, you were watching firefighter 𝗵𝗏. He appears to be now providing CPR, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And my client is nowhere near you, correct? At least for this clip.
No, sir.
Okay.
Correct.
And the clip that I just played before, the few seconds that I played before, nowhere near you, correct? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Let's go and play forward.
Look at Jen McCabe. Just look at her talking to this guy. So was that 𝗵𝗏 she was just talking to? I think. Yeah, she was talking to 𝗵𝗏 there. She's like, "Come here, Kerry." Oh, Karen's like, "Leave me alone, bitch." Here comes the stretcher.
Pause, what do you see happening on the screen from screen right to screen left at this juncture?
We're bringing in the stretcher.
Okay, go ahead and play it. Pause it. Do you see where my client is right now?
Can you back it up 2 seconds? I'm sorry, I lost you.
Of course, permission. I need to ask you permission. Thank you. So let's go ahead and play it. Pause. Did you see my client?
Yes, sir.
Where is she in the frame?
Behind that other individual.
Behind the SUV?
I believe she's in front of the SUV and behind the other individual.
Okay. I'm at the SUV, the white SUV that's in.
Yes, sir.
If you're far distance.
Yes.
That's the back of the SUV. She's behind it, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Not near you.
No.
Okay. Let's go ahead and play it. Go ahead and pause it. Do you see what firefighter 𝗵𝗏 is still doing throughout this entire clip?
Chest compressions?
Okay. Let's go ahead and play it. Pause. What's happening now?
Where Mr. O'Keefe's on the scoop stretcher and he's being transferred to the ambulance stretcher.
Okay.
So that's the entire time Mr. 𝗵𝗏, firefighter 𝗵𝗏, was giving chest compressions. It's captured right here on this video, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And now Mr. O'Keefe is up on the stretcher, and you are no longer knelt down.
No, sir.
And firefighter 𝗵𝗏 is no longer knelt down.
No, sir.
And you're now following the stretcher with, it looks like, 2 or 3 other EMTs, correct?
I am not in that frame, sir.
Okay, so you've walked away.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go ahead and play forward. Pause it. See where my client is?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and play it. Do you see firefighter 𝗵𝗏 or firefighter Kelly continuing to give chest compressions?
Yes, sir.
Which one is that? Do you know?
I believe it's firefighter 𝗵𝗏.
𝗵𝗏?
Believe so.
Okay, so he's still doing all the chest compressions from start to finish.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just look at this bitch over here. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her go. It's just all, she can't fucking help it. Bitch, is your sister alive? There's a dead man right there. You're not spooked by this at all?
What's happening right now?
Now we are transferring to ambulance 1.
And where's my client?
Right front center.
Yeah, just moving. If I may have just a second. John suffered, with regard, just a couple of more questions with court's permission. I'm going to change gears with regard to what you talked about on direct examination, the hypothermic conditions. You're not a medical doctor, correct?
No, sir.
You don't diagnose patients?
Sir.
You're not diagnosing that John O'Keefe suffered from hypothermia that night?
No, sir.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Please.
All right, so Spanky's gets a chance.
Yes, those were.
Firefighter Nuttall, the video the defense just showed you, did you notice any differences between that video and when I showed it to you, and that it doesn't have the time on it?
Yes, those were two different time frames on that video.
And when we spoke about when the defendant said to you, I hit him, that wasn't shown to you in that video just now, was it?
No, it was not.
So if we go back, will you be able to explain where you came from and Firefighter 𝗲𝗏 came from and when you first went over to John O'Keefe?
Sure.
With the court's permission, Ms. Gilman, if you could start that video, I think it is 6:11, please. Now stop it there. Do you see that this exhibit has timestamp on the top?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please continue.
So what timestamp is this? 6:10. Okay, 6:10.
Could you start, please? Do you see the red lights on the left?
Yes, sir.
Is that when you believe that you first arrived?
Yes, sir.
And that note says 6:11:05. Could you continue, please, Ms. Gilman? Please watch to the left. Stop, please. Is that when you first arrived and walk over to help John O'Keefe?
Yes, sir. That's me.
I'll note that the timestamp is 6:11:21. Okay. Continue, please.
You should get off me, bitch.
Stop, please. Did you see Firefighter 𝗲𝗏 come after you?
Yes, sir.
Was any of this shown to you during those questions?
No, sir.
No. Continue, please.
She had no idea what she was in for. She had no fucking
Do
clue.
you see the
Huh?
defendant in that screen?
Yes, sir.
Do you see her moving from right to left towards you?
Sustained us to the phone.
Okay. What direction do you see her running in that screen from right to left?
She's running towards where the three of us are grouped.
Okay. Please continue. Stop, please. Is it at that time the defendant said to you that she hit him?
Yes, sir.
And you remember that?
I do.
Okay. I'm done with the tape. Thank you very much.
So what was that? That was at what time? So 6:12. He says it happens at.
Is it?
Three of us are grouped.
Okay. Please continue.
So this was the point.
Stop, please.
I don't see them doing compressions.
Is it at that time the defendant said to you that she hit him?
Yes, sir.
And you remember that?
I do.
Okay. I'm done with the tape. Thank you very much.
Right. Sure thing. Then how come we don't hear it on the tape? We hear her yelling everything else. Jen, no. We hear all that. We don't hear anything about I hit him. It's just so weird how that wasn't picked up at all. Okay.
Trooper Proctor, when you were saying that you didn't remember, were you referring to the conversation with Trooper Proctor, or were you suggesting you didn't remember what happened that morning?
I don't remember the interview with Trooper Proctor. I remember it happened. I don't remember the substance of what was discussed entirely. I remember we discussed that morning, but
do you know if that conversation was recorded or just a conversation between you and the trooper?
I do not know if it was recorded.
You asked questions. I want to ask you about questions on Mr. O'Keefe, and you mentioned that there was some type of blood clotting on the back of his head?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You noticed there were abrasions on his right arm?
Yes, sir.
You noticed there was a 𝗲𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗏 on the right side of his head?
Yes, sir.
Did you see any bruising on his right knee?
Don't recall, sir.
Did it stand out to you that all of his injuries, all of them that you saw, other than the cut on the back of the head, that they were all on his right side?
Yes, sir.
Did you notice any 𝗲𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗏s on his left side?
I did not.
Did you notice any scratches or abrasions on his left side?
I did not.
Did you notice any marks that would be consistent with an altercation on the left side of his body?
I did not.
You were asked about the cause, and you said that you don't know the cause. You weren't there, were you?
No, sir.
You asked if it was consistent with being touched, and you said it could be.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Could it be consistent with being clipped by a car?
Sustained us to the phone.
You were asked questions about clothing,
Yes, sir.
and you had at one point said you thought that Mr. O'Keefe was wearing a winter jacket. Do you have any memory that when you first got there, or when you first got there, do you have any memory whether there were any towels wrapped around Mr. O'Keefe's head?
I remember there was a white cloth of some sort on the scene.
Okay. And when you were asked about your memory regarding the clothing, was the clothing of what was utmost importance to you at that time?
No, sir.
And why is that?
I was, again, focused on Mr.
okay.
Gave a statement of testimony.
I believe when I testified last year, I did note I had no part in removing any articles of clothing or anything like that. That was not my job in the back of the truck.
Do you remember any recognition of the fact whether you were certain or not about clothing?
Repeat the question, sir.
Well, is there anything that would refresh your memory about what you had said about clothing?
Ask a different question.
You had mentioned that you had some difficulty about clothing. Do you remember what you had previously said?
I remember there was some difficulty of getting the individual fingers through clothing just because they were so cold. They were difficult to manipulate. Just they really was not conducive to getting clothing off easily.
Yeah, he did. He
You
loves
met with me 3
saying-
times?
Yes, sir.
I had not met you before any of your prior testimonies, had I?
No, sir.
Do you remember meeting with me and discussing this case with me?
I do.
Do you remember me asking you to tell me what you remember?
I do.
Do you remember what I told you about testimony when you come into court?
Yes, sir.
What would I tell you?
I remember we discussed that just tell the truth.
Did I tell you that it doesn't matter? There is no side. Doesn't matter if it helps or hurts, that you just tell the truth?
Sustained.
Did I ever suggest to you that you should stick to a story?
No, sir.
Did I ever suggest to you you should offer your testimony in any certain way?
No, sir.
When I talked to you, did I ever ask you to say anything about your testimony to this jury?
No, sir.
Other than what?
Speak to the jury.
Did I need to tell you to tell the truth?
No, sir.
And in telling the truth, did the defendant say to you, I hit him, I hit him?
I'll allow it.
Yes, sir. 3 times.
And in fact,
Oh my
do you
God.
remember, in addition to her saying, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, when you asked her the question, kneeling down over John O'Keefe's body, do you remember if
Look
you
at-
ever talked about other times that she said it, not to you?
Oh, here we go.
I do not.
Okay.
The answer is I do not. Next question.
Okay. Do you remember testifying previously in this case?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember at all discussing whether or not, after she left you, whether or not the defendant was still talking and speaking?
I'm sorry, sir. Repeat the question.
Do you remember after the defendant left you and made that statement to you? Do you remember talking? Did you hear her speak to other people after you?
I heard her having conversations in the background, but that was not my focus at that time.
Okay. And during those conversations in the background, did you hear her talk about that same issue again?
I believe she said it several times, but
Oh,
the 3 times she said it to me were what stuck out to me.
oh, so
And
a
when
new
she said it
time.
to other people, it wasn't directly to you?
No, sir.
So watch the form of the question, Mr.
And when she said it to,
the objection.
when she said it to other people, do you know who she said it to?
I do not.
I'll allow it. So the answer is I do not.
I'm sorry. Do you remember when she said it other times who she said it to?
I'm going to see counsel at sidebar for this.
Oh, yeah.
Did you share with the jury what you remember her saying, not to you, but after she left you?
I remember hearing I hit him several other times. Again, not directed to me, just kind of off in the background.
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to
After Mr. Brennan asks you a few questions, now you remember her saying, I hit him a bunch more
A
times.
bunch more times.
I remember hearing it in the background several other times.
Really?
Sir,
Never mentioned that on direct examination, did you?
I remember being asked about it, sir. I remember saying what was asked to me.
You were asked, did you ever hear the defendant, Ms. Reed, say anything about I hit him? And your answer was, she said to me, in answer to my question, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him 3 times, and that's it.
To me.
To me.
You didn't clarify. Like, oh my God, she's running around like Timber hip hop, screaming I hit him to everybody else in the something.
It was, again, it was behind me in the background as I was providing patient care. Again, that was not my focus.
Okay, so you didn't really hear her say anything about it, because you weren't focused on it, right?
I remember hearing generalized commotion in the background, but again, that was not our focus.
So generalized commotion is very different than hearing her say, I hit him to other people, correct? You'd agree with that?
Yes, sir.
So what you actually heard was the chaos and the commotion of a chaotic scene, correct? In the background.
In the background.
As you focused on your patient care, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, not specific words coming out of my client's mouth, correct?
To the question that I posed, do you know him?
You're right, we're off that question.
Okay.
That question, I got it.
Yes, sir.
Triple I hit.
Correct.
But with regard to what Mr. Brennan just asked you, the generalized commotion, to use your phrase, in the background, you didn't hear any specific words coming out of my client's mouth, did you?
I heard I hit him. But again, it was in the background and it was not my focus.
The new
Why
one.
didn't you say that on direct? That's kind of an important point. It's why you're here.
Again, if it was
This is great.
neglected on my part, it was not intentional.
Not intentional to neglect that part for the jurors on direct examination.
No, sir.
Certainly not intentional to neglect that part of your testimony on cross-examination.
No, sir.
But you decided to bring it up on direct, on re-cross-examination when Mr. Brennan is asking you questions again, correct?
It was asked of me. Yes,
And it was after, of course, that your new statement that you've never testified to before, ever, is this generalized commotion included a bunch of I hit hims in the background, correct?
Sir.
And that comes after you saw the video that clearly shows that when you described having heard this statement, what heard it was nowhere around you, correct?
That segment of the video that you showed me?
Yes.
That was not the time frame in which she said that to me.
Well, that was the time frame when 𝗃𝗏𝗍𝗃 was giving CPR, correct?
He was doing CPR down prior to that as well.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Well, you just testified that you saw him standing up in a big yellow jacket and then kneel down and start giving CPR. You just watched that video.
But again, the clip of the video that you showed me, that was not the segment in which he said that to me.
And that's what you're saying now, but what I'm asking is, you described a very distinctive scene, a very, very specific scene.
Yes, sir. I remember it vividly.
She said, that I didn't frame, when 𝗃𝗏𝗍𝗃 was down giving CPR, and you were kneeling down giving airway support, and he was doing rhythmic CPR chest compression.
Yes, sir. That's what happened.
And then I showed you that very scene, didn't I?
Yes, you showed me that clip prior to that.
I showed you the very scene that you described, where 𝗃𝗏𝗍𝗃 gets down and starts chest compressions and never stops until the gurney is taken off the frame of the camera to the end. Isn't that what I showed you?
That is.
So, I don't know if I can again. I showed you the scene where 𝗃𝗏𝗃 𝗃𝗏𝗍𝗃 gets down on his knees, begins chest compressions, and never stops until that gurney is taken off camera, off frame, into the ambulance. That's the clip I showed you, correct?
That's the clip you showed me.
And that's exactly when you described your vivid memory from 3.5 years ago, that's exactly the scene that you described when my client supposedly said, I hit him to you, correct?
Again, the clip that you showed me, that was not when it was said. That segment that you showed, that was not when it was said. It was said prior to that, when the three of us were together.
So 𝗲𝗏 was not giving chest compressions then?
He was. The CPR was a continuous effort throughout the resuscitation.
But we saw him start it. Officer, Firefighter Nuttall, we saw him start it. We saw him walk into the frame, kneel down, and begin the chest compressions, didn't we?
We did.
And at no point, at that time or after, did my client even approach you, did she, in that clip?
She did.
What?
What?
What? What? You should have seen the face he made before.
Just a question. Sure.
What? That's just like, that is just such classic Alan Jackson. It was just like, seriously? He's just like bewildered. Like, he's supposed to ask questions. So his question is, what? What the fuck? You just, what? He's speaking for all of us. Like, what the fuck? Your story is all over the place, dude.
Do you need to see the that clip again?
Yes, please.
We're not going to show the video again.
Why?
I've seen 2 videos. Which one is marked?
Why?
The
one with the timestamp.
I wouldn't want to get to the bottom of this. Do you have somewhere to be, Auntie Bev?
Just to be clear, you described a very detailed scene in which firefighter 𝗲𝗏 got down on the ground on his knees and began CPR.
Yes, sir.
We saw a clip that was, it played fully through.
Mm-hmm.
Starts and stops, but played fully through. Right? It was a true and accurate video of what happened that day.
Yes, sir.
That morning, correct?
Correct.
And from the time firefighter 𝗲𝗏 began his CPR, he never stopped. But all the way through until Dono was taken off the camera, correct?
Correct.
You also described very clearly before you saw the video that the time that my client walked over and had this dialogue, you heard this statement. It was during the time that firefighter 𝗲𝗏 is giving CPR, correct? You described.
Yes, sir.
But when we actually see firefighter 𝗲𝗏 giving the CPR, as per your description, at no time did my client walk over and have a conversation with you, did she?
She did in the video.
What?
In the portion that Mr. Brennan played you, was firefighter 𝗲𝗏 giving CPR at that point?
No.
As I said previously.
Was he or was he not? Yes or no?
Objection.
I'm going to let the witness answer the question.
Firefighters Kelly and 𝗲𝗏 were trading off CPR. Tony started doing CPR, and it was passed off at one point to firefighter Kelly. Firefighter Kelly at that time was a BLS EMT. Firefighter 𝗲𝗏 was a paramedic. They're going to move towards firefighter Kelly performing CPR because at that time his skill set was not as advanced as firefighter 𝗲𝗏's, as Tony's. But they did switch off. That is a routine cardiac arrest. We switch off compressions.
But the video that Mr. Brennan showed you was earlier in time, a few seconds or a minute or two earlier.
Yes, sir.
You'd agree with that, correct?
I would.
And firefighter 𝗲𝗏 had not begun CPR, had he?
I don't believe so.
That's right. He hadn't. But that's the time that my client.
We just talk about why are firefighters in Canton so young? Like everybody, 𝗲𝗏 can't be older than like early 30s or something like that. I don't know. Every firefighter in Worcester, like where I'm from, is like a 45-year-old guy with one of those like Chester A. Arthur mustaches and just looks grizzled. Like the firefighters in Canton all look like children. Like it's bizarre. Like this, if I were to guess this guy's job, I would not guess firefighter. Like that would be one of the last things I guess. It's bizarre. But it's just a thought.
Walked over your general area, correct?
Correct.
Before CPR was started, correct?
CPR was started immediately, sir.
Can we wrap this up?
I don't know if we can, Judge.
I don't know if we can.
Do you understand the confusion?
Objection.
Sustained.
All right, a couple more questions on this. The video that Mr. Brennan showed you.
Yes, sir.
And you pointed to and said, oh, that's the time when she walked over and said the statement.
Yes, sir.
Remember that?
I do.
Firefighter 𝗲𝗏 was not even kneeling down giving CPR, was he at that point?
No.
The answer is yes or no?
No.
Okay, he was not. Later, as the video continues to run, at some point, we see firefighter 𝗲𝗏 enter the screen, kneel down in that bright, reflective yellow jacket, and begin CPR, correct?
Yes, sir.
You had previously said that when you heard the statement and she walked over to you, it was when firefighter 𝗲𝗏 was giving CPR, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at no point, you'll agree with me, you just played the video, at no point after he started giving CPR did my client come anywhere near. Isn't that the case?
That was the segment that you showed me.
You indicated on redirect, that Mr. O'Keefe did not have any injuries to the left side of his body.
Not that I recall.
Isn't it true that in addition to the egg on the right side of his head, he also had a black eye on the left side?
I remember that the swelling had started to, it's referred to kind of as raccoon eyes. It's a bruising of both eyes.
Do you remember saying, in answer to the question, did it look like in addition to the egg on the right side of his head in the front, did he also have a black eye on the left side? Your answer is, if memory serves correct, yes.
Yes, sir.
So it's not true that he didn't have any injuries on the left side of his body or face, correct?
That swelling kind of migrated.
An injury.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you the question again then. Did he have an injury to the left side of his face?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Diesel engines, flashing lights, people screaming, people talking over the howling wind, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever see the homeowner come out the front door?
Don't recall.
You don't recall, or you didn't?
I have no idea who the homeowner is.
And you never saw anyone?
Oh my God, you have no idea who the homeowner is. Stop it.
One issue. That you heard the defendant say, I hit him, separate from when she approached you. Do you remember?
Yeah, so they were off to a rough start. This is the prosecution's opening witness. It just didn't work out very well at all. So that's 𝗲𝗏. We'll get to Kerry Roberts in 1 minute. Let me read a couple turtle chats here. All right. Let's see. Huh. All right. All right. Julie G sends $10 and goes, Uncle Turtle Boy, so glad you're going live every day, watching from Melbourne, Australia. I can't wait to see Jen McCabe get destroyed by Alan Jackson. Karen Reed is 100% innocent. Yes, she is. Absolutely. Thank you. Jeremy sends $10 and goes, those who have been and will be proven lied during the first 2 trials, will they be in trouble for perjury? If not, why? No, they won't be in trouble. And why? Norfolk County. That hopefully that answers your question. So thank you. Beth, if they'll let you get away with murder in Norfolk County, they will let you get away with perjury. That's a little bit less serious. Thank you. Beth sends $10 and goes, congrats on 109,000. Do you know where the hell Laura McLaughlin is? Yeah, she hasn't been there. Has she seen the light? No. And dumped those bottom dwellers? No. There's probably just not room for her at the table with Lally sitting there dejected all day, pouting. And, he likes his elbow room. So that's why. Next up, Paula sends $10, goes, I love how Alan Jackson outed Kerry for the low-life liar that she really is. Yes, it was masterful. Thank you. Marianne sends $50 and says, I said I misunderstood the question, Mr. Jackson. That's what Kerry said today, right? I think. Yeah, we'll get to that. Amanda sends $10, goes, Kerry Roberts gained at least 2 wristbands in weight since last trial. And her eyes, too. Her eyes are like, fuck, she has huge bags under her eyes. She just looks like beat up, like a ragged Canton woman, doesn't she? And she goes, the blonde Sullivan slut looks like she has a set of twin Nagels in the oven. So that's not the Sullivan slut. She would not be allowed to be in the courtroom for this. That is a Rizitano cousin, of which there are many, and they're all retarded. So thank you, Amanda. Thomas sends $10, goes, how much will that poor bastard Bow have to pay the Commonwealth for that bogus arrest? And why did they hold him for a competency hearing? I don't know. So hopefully best of luck to Bow. Susan sends $5 and goes, did Kerry break the law by talking to Jen since they are both witnesses? No, I don't think she did, but you're allowed to talk to other witnesses. Emily sends $10, just not about your testimony, I think. This is just my speculation about the Kerry text not being brought up. They might not have been brought them up to her because it would give her a chance to explain and make excuses. You haven't read the texts I have, though. Obviously, you know who these texts are with. Maybe they will call that witness. Nah, trust me, they're not. But we'll see. Trust me. Like when you read the texts, which hopefully we will someday, we'll get these unimpounded and we could do a whole show on it. It's wild. $5 from Who Stole My Blue Curtain says, Dear Kerry, have you realized how Jen just wanted to get your story and timeline scripted and have you interviewed at her house? At the end of the day, Jen only gives a fuck about her close crew. Yeah, I've always wondered that. I'm like, when are these people going to wake up and realize that they're being used by this woman? And the answer is never, for 2 reasons. Number one, they hate Karen Reed and they would never side with her, and which would be required. Number 2, they just don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit it. I do wonder if part of Kerry's head, because remember, Kerry's sister-in-law is Free Karen Reed. She donated to the cause. Okay, don't forget that. She donated to the Karen Reed Legal Defense Fund. So, we'll see. Next up, Nicola sends $10 and says, why did Peggy question why Karen was at the hospital? Of course she'll be there when it's her own boyfriend who's dead. Like, why would she have a problem with that? Exactly, Nicola. That was the most telling thing that Peggy O'Keefe said when she goes, I asked, why is she here? That was at like, what, 10 a.m., 11 a.m.? She's asking, why is she here? Because it's her boyfriend. So that means that Jennifer McCabe had already gotten to her. And she's like, okay, I got to get in touch with Peggy O'Keefe and Kerry Roberts. Got to get to them first. The cops. She's literally quarterbacking the whole fucking thing while Brian Albert sleeps the night away. In fairness, Brian Albert did the killing and, put the body out there. And, that was his job. Most likely. I can't imagine who else would do that in his house. So he had to be involved in that. Getting rid of the dog, all that. Jen's job was to take care of the talking afterward. That was her job. Thank you. Melanie sends $8 and goes, so last trial, there were no clips and inverted video, and that jury was dumb as shit. I feel like either the jury is smart enough to see through Hank's bullshit or they're not. If the clips taint the jury, then they're retarded or compromised anyway. The black people on the jury give me hope. I don't want to, it's just like, they could be bad too. It's like, just because you're black doesn't mean you're any more likely to be in favor of Karen Reed, love you, long time, Dr. Daddy. Thank you, Melanie. Carissa sends $10, goes, first time commenter, long time listener. Hope this hasn't come up yet. Best moment of the day was, quote, tell us about your 3 kids. Peggy talks about Kristen, gets emotional, cries. She talks about John, gets emotional, cries. And then there's Paul with a straight face. I busted out laughing. Anyways, I really appreciate the daily lives. Keep exposing these pieces of shit. Yeah. Like then there's Paul, who is using this as a dating app. Right. Okay. Pat sends $10 and goes, what are your thoughts on 𝗲𝗄𝗃 doing the closing arguments? I don't like it. I like 𝗲𝗄𝗃. He's loud. He's whatever. He's really good with the technical stuff, which is why he's going to cross-examine Nicholas Guarino. And, I'm sure he might get 𝗕𝗿𝗆 and a few others. Like, that's his thing. I do not want him doing the opening and closing. Or he's too late for the opening. But, I think the closing should be Alan again. That's just me. But anyway. Back to this. Christine sends $10, goes, had a funeral and couldn't watch either day. In a few words, how did the jury react yesterday in favor of the defense? 100% yesterday, more than today. They were just like blown away by just watching how good Alan Jackson was at this. It was their first time seeing him in action. They were in awe. A lot of these people, they were just like the facial reactions they were making. It's like very good. Carissa sends $10, goes, no, I already read that one. Okay. Stephanie sends $50 and goes, just to set the record straight, in some chats, was Karen paid for the docu-series? Just want to answer correctly. No, they do not pay the features. That's like the policy of most documentaries is they will not pay their people. Or the people that they're interviewing because they don't want to be accused of being biased. So that's that. Next. Intoxicated bitch sends $5 and goes, hey, Kerry, at 5 a.m., you was focused and concerned of the alleged broken taillight so no one can get their coat caught on it, but your so-called friend was still missing at the time. P.S. to the O'Keefes, I hope you realized the true Kerry Roberts today. Trust me, they didn't. Eileen sends $10 and says, did you notice after you saying last night that Brennan Never says what, if anything, like Lally did. Did you hear Brennan say it today? No, I did not hear him say it today. Interesting. Okay, thank you. Kristen sends $10, goes, I thought the cross on Kerry Roberts was great, but can you tell us what they had on her that they didn't bring up? No, I can't. Thought it was going to be more than it was. I thought it was going to be more too. When it just ended, I'm like, what? I was shocked that some of the shit that wasn't brought up. Shocked. I mean, it's just like some of these messages. Holy shit. Again, can't talk about it right now. Goldilocks sends $5, goes, dude, I donated and you didn't read my comment. Should I read between the lines? I have no idea what you're talking about, Goldilocks. Tall Mike the Troll sends $5 and says, I love Turtle Boy. Thank you very much, Tall Mike the Troll. MK sends $10 and goes, I think Hank is trying to align Jen McCabe with John's family ahead of her testimony so that the jury sympathizes with her and sees her as more credible. Then Karen is the villain. Perhaps. I mean, I think today's testimony was all about Jen McCabe. That's what the defense was setting this up for. This was a devastating day for the Commonwealth, I thought. Bias Bev's fuckery sends $10 and goes, look at Kerry Roberts' testimony when Brennan was questioning her about the cell phone. That video was altered. The time on the video says 6:15, then jumps to 6:05, then back to 6:17. If you have time, let me know what you think. Okay. And then unbelievable, messed up on so many levels. I wish I had Alan Jackson or the attorney's information. Okay, so this is that time of year where every day, my inbox, even though I don't have Facebook anymore, people are sending my personal Facebook now and my email every day. Can you get this to the defense? Every day. You got to hear about this. Can you get to the defense? So this is a general disclaimer about that in general. No. Fucking no. Thank you for the dono, but absolutely not. Trust me when I say, you sitting at home watching this, you have not figured anything out that they don't know. You are not the guy that figured something out that they did not see. You're not. So no, you cannot have their contact information. You should not waste their time with this. Just watch the trial, enjoy it. It's not your job to solve it. You don't need to do that. That's why she has attorneys. Let them do it. Your job is to watch it, take interest in it, talk about it, discuss it. Your job is not to contact them ever. So there's that. Okay, back to this. Okay. The mentality has crippled the chances of finding. No, that kind of mentality. Exactly. Yes, one really, yes, one, like in case I wasn't clear, Rubicon, 1,000. If you're at all tempted to be like, oh my God, I saw this video and I think it's altered at this point, and I think they used AI to do this and I know about it, I just need to contact them. No, fucking don't. Actually don't. Just don't do that. Actually think about doing that and then don't do it. That's what I can't be more clear about that. So thank you. All right, next up. Hank the Cat sends $5 and goes, I am a truthful and honest person. Jen McCabe cannot wait to see her remaining teeth tremble on cross-examination. Me too. Wallace sends $10 and goes, the counsel of the 𝗺𝗏𝗄𝗎 would like to formally reject the nutty paramedic. He can't sit with us. Okay. Sends $5, goes, why does Hank have to stand so close to the witnesses? I don't know. He stands at the podium usually. Emmy sends $10, goes, Brennan chose true believers and sympathy witnesses first. Both Nuttall and Karen Reed drank the Kool-Aid, and Kerry Roberts drank the Kool-Aid, and Peggy knew her assignment. Okay. Terry sends $10 and goes, what is Nuttall sneaking into his mouth when he thinks no one is looking? Subs? Zanny? I don't know. Good question. Jay sends $10, goes, you got to give Jen McCabe props. It takes talent to manipulate someone into perjuring themselves in front of a grand jury. You do have to give it to Jen McCabe. She is a phenomenal manipulator, one of the best. It is impressive it's gotten this far. Like, it takes talent to get away with murder, which she has. She has gotten away with murder. And not only that, she pretends to be a victim at the same time. She is excellent at it. So that's the only thing she's good at. And $10 from Kirsten Madden that says, it's telling that Peg ignored Karen at the hospital and the home. She seems so smug and justified that she did not speak to Karen. She came across as proud of her dismissiveness, not normal mom behavior toward your child's significant other during a tragedy. Yes, we see it that way. But the question is, will the jury? That's what really matters. Let me read some cash apps here. Before we get to the Kerry video. JJ sends $5 and goes, Spank tries to get loud like he's about it. Shut the fuck up. I know he does get a little loud. So, yeah, it's like, bro, chill, dude, chill. Danielle sends $5 and goes, I sent you a message on Twitter. Okie dokie. Thank you. Debbie sends $20 and goes, Bev calling Kerry Miss McCabe. You're right. Oh, no, I read that already. Okay. All right, cool. All right. I just got to take a leak real quick. Hold on. Let me play a little video here. I'll be right back. Let me find a good video. I'm just going to pick a random one on here. Hold on. What's this one?
I be looking fresh with them feds watching. I be looking fresh with them feds watching. I be looking fresh with them feds watching. New whip, yeah. Dogs, Toto. All you're doing is going down a bloody yellow brick motherfucking road. Sexual misconduct on a student. I be looking fresh with them feds watching. I be looking fresh with them feds watching. New whip, yeah. Dogs, Toto. Make your block hot. Kettle, 𝗵40, evil Knievel, I be stunting. Paparazzi, put the barrel down your throat. Have you singing Lady Gaga. I be looking fresh with them feds watching. 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 New whip, yeah. Dogs, Toto.
All right. We're back. All right, let's do it. Let's get into Kerry Roberts. Let's do it. Not literally, thank God. I like this channel that you guys found for me, this trial watcher channel. Is that what this is? What do I do with it? Did I get X out? The trial. There it is. All right. So we're going to cut right to the cross-examination of Kerry Roberts. Not going to bother with the direct because she is incredibly boring on direct. It's just like, yeah, we're friends. We went to the prom together. I'm so sad. This bullshit. And during the first trial, I did kind of feel bad for her a little bit. I thought she gave a shit. And I'm still not convinced that Kerry is like pure evil. She does suck. She sucks. But I don't think she's like evil. I just think she's a fucking moron. I've had her pegged from day one. If you go back and watch my shit from like 2 years ago, I was talking about like I called her like a good dog, like a good, like they were treating her like that. And I had that shit on lock, like immediately. So let's just see what happens.
You have spoken to the DA's office or some member of the DA's office. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about that.
Sure.
How many times in total do you think you've spoken to a representative of the district attorney's office?
I don't have a number.
Would you say it's more than a dozen?
Yes,
Would you say it's more than 50?
maybe around there,
Okay.
maybe less.
And who are the folks, Ms. Roberts, that you have spoken to at the DA's office?
Steve Nelson,
Okay.
the victim advocate, 𝗫𝗄𝗄𝗃, who's a state police officer, and the DA, Michael Morrissey.
And what was the, I want to take those in order, and two of those are at the DA's office. One of those is not, 𝗫𝗄𝗃 is not at the DA's office. He's actually a Massachusetts state police officer. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's take those in order. How many times would you say you've spoken to Mr. Nelson? Just if you give me a thumbnail.
I don't know, maybe 34.
So like the reason that she has to admit this now is because Hank Brennan has to tell her, like, look, they got all these text messages. They got everything. They got everything. And yeah, she does talk to Steve Nelson a lot about shit that she shouldn't be talking to him about. And for some reason, he's cool with that. That guy is fucking shady as fuck. I could do, unimpound these motherfuckers. Let's go.
40.
Okay. Have you received what you would consider to be updates on the progress of the case?
I would ask questions and he would give me very broad answers.
Okay. Were your questions ever prompted by conversations that you had with your friend, Ms. McCabe, Jen McCabe?
Sometimes Jen would say, could you ask Steve this? Because I had a rapport with Steve.
Okay. Were those?
Oh, yeah,
conversations by
you
text
did.
message or phone
Oh,
calls,
yeah,
both?
you did.
I would usually text him.
Okay. What about the conversations with Mr. Morrissey, the elected district attorney? What are the circumstances under which you contacted Mr. Morrissey?
Well, during the course of this trial, the witnesses have been harassed.
That's not my question. Objection.
But I'm answering.
He did kind of open the door for that. Like what if you read the text messages, you'd know that that's what they were contacting him about. Is like, what are we going to do about this turtle boy problem? I wish I could show you all the messages. It's how do you think that Michael Morrissey press conference on August 25th, 2023 will make a lot more sense if you knew what I knew, and so Alan Jackson kind of walked into that one. He definitely opened the door on that one, but luckily it doesn't go anywhere.
Hold on. Let's see. I'm going to sustain the objection. Next question.
Thank you. Were you phoning him? Were you meeting him? Were you texting him? That's my question. The circumstances of the communication itself.
I phoned the office asking for a meeting, had a meeting, and then he left a voicemail at some point and texted me and said, I just left you a voicemail.
Okay. Was that the extent of your conversations with Mr. Morrissey, the elected DA?
I had one other meeting with other witnesses and the DA.
And turning to...
So these guys are all they're calling up the elected DA. Sorry, I'm eating ice cream right now. Calling up the elected DA, and they're just getting meetings whenever they want. All of them. Just big powwows. What do you think they're talking about, those meetings? This are like, what are we going to, like, this is during the beginning of my activism where I'm like showing up at the court, doing protests outside, exercising my First Amendment rights, asking people questions, doing shit like that. And they're like, what are we going to do? I mean, that just shows that like Michael Morrissey was pressured by these people to like, do something, arrest this guy, put this guy. So this is really more about me than it is about Karen.
To 𝗫𝗄𝗃, what were the logistics? I'll use that word instead of circumstances. What were the logistics of you contacting 𝗫𝗄𝗃? Was it by phone? Was it in-person meetings, text messages, or all of the above?
All of the above.
How many times would you say that you've spoken with 𝗫𝗄𝗃?
Spoken or communicated?
Sorry, good point. Communicated with.
Probably 20.
Okay. When was the last time? Actually, let me ask you a different question. Have you ever met with Mr. Brennan before your testimony today?
Yes.
What was the circumstance of that meeting?
Going over my testimony from the last trial and sort of just asking questions on what might come this time. Would I be cross-examined? I wasn't last time.
That's a good point.
Just sort of, all the things went through my testimony.
Okay. When was that meeting?
I don't know. In the last couple of weeks. I don't know.
Okay. Where was the meeting?
At the DA's office.
Who else was there?
Different times that I would meet with him. Steve Nelson would be there. One time, Brian Tully was there.
Brian Tully, yeah.
Mr. Brennan's assistant.
So now you see what it's getting at. It's about me. Brian, why the fuck is Brian Tully always there? That shady motherfucker.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Brennan's assistant.
Okay.
I don't know. Adam Lally and Laura McLaughlin.
Were those meetings, you said there were 2 meetings? Or did I misunderstand you?
Yeah, I think there were 2.
Okay. Were those close in time to one another? You mentioned 2 weeks ago. Were those both 2
I
weeks
said a few weeks ago, but the other meeting was just before I was going to testify.
Meaning, what, yesterday, the day before?
Last week.
Was that also at the DA's office?
Yes, it was.
Were you shown anything at that meeting?
Was I shown anything?
Videos, testimony, transcripts?
No.
Reports?
No.
Nothing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We went over my testimony on the screen. And then I just talked about my testimony from the last time.
Okay. When you say you went over your testimony on screen, what do you mean?
We watched my testimony from the first trial on a TV screen.
Okay. So you were shown something. You were shown a video of your prior testimony.
Yes.
So I'd like to see counsel at sidebar for just a minute, please.
Oh boy.
Transcripts, videos, like videos that you may have seen today, dash cam videos, anything like that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think I was shown anything.
Okay. Did you discuss other parts of your prior testimony?
Yes.
Okay.
Good question.
What was discussed
Good
concerning
question.
your prior testimony and how it would impact how you testified today on direct examination?
Mr. Brennan had just asked me, can you just tell me what happened? So I told him the story verbally.
Okay. Anything come up about specific instances of how you were going to testify today?
No.
Or yesterday?
No.
Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit, Ms. Roberts, about the video that you were shown by Mr. Brennan. It's the dash cam video of Officer 𝗃𝗃. I'm not sure if you know which officer that is.
No, I don't.
It's the one that you've been watching.
Okay.
That dash cam that shows your car in the foreground.
Yep.
I'd like to ask you a couple of quick questions about your memory of that incident and then perhaps show you the video depending on what the answer is.
Sure.
Do you remember when the officer first arrived, you and Ms. Reed specifically were at Mr. O'Keefe's body?
Yes.
Where was Ms. McCabe at that moment?
She was there too, but she was waving down the first responders because it was dark out and he couldn't see us. He had a spotlight.
You and Ms. Reed were both providing some level of CPR, some level of life-saving efforts.
Yes, as was Ms. McCabe.
What was Ms. McCabe doing?
She.
When I was doing chest compressions.
You notice how she goes, as was Miss McCabe. She is like Jen McCabe's biggest advocate. Like she, as was Miss McCabe was doing it too. Notice she throws that in there.
And Karen was doing mouth to mouth. Jen was either on the phone with 911 or handing me baby blankets.
Okay.
At some point, she did take over doing chest compressions because I asked her to.
Okay. So Ms. Reed was focused on Mr. O'Keefe's head, face area.
Correct.
You were focused on the chest.
Correct.
Ms. McCabe was, at some point at least, she had called 911 or dialed 911.
Yes.
When Ms. McCabe dialed 911 and was on the phone with 911, isn't it true that she was actually in a vehicle at the time?
That is not true.
She was outside?
She was outside.
That's your memory?
Yes.
Okay. Have you heard the 911 tape of that call?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's a lie. Here's a
You're
lie.
aware that that tape was also captured by an open
definitely a
line on Ms. Reed's phone?
Yes.
That open line that phone was dropped inside the cab of an SUV?
It was in the backseat, I believe.
Right. So in order for that for that open line, right next to or adjacent to the cab of the SUV.
She was in back of it with the back was up.
I see that back hatch.
Yes.
Okay.
Do
you remember Ms. Reed's statement, her initial statement to Officer 𝗃𝗃?
So this isn't a big lie or anything like that, but she just claims that Jen was not in the car when she called 911. She's trying to make Jen sound like Jen was like active. Like there's this, we all know that the criticism of Jen's behavior is that she sat in the car while these two were trying to, do CPR or whatever. She was acting shady. She didn't help out. She was just talking to everyone. And she's like, no, Jen was doing CPR. No, Jen was outside the car. She wasn't outside the car. She was inside the car. She had to be inside the car. Had to be. Because they picked her up. Like she was whispering. She was whispering. She wouldn't be whispering. Like it wouldn't have picked. No fucking way would that have picked it up. No way. But again, this might be one of those Nuttall things where she's just like, no, that's not what happened. It's a long time ago. She could easily forget this. This might not be like an intentional lie, but it's still wrong. It's incorrect. No fucking way.
When he got out of his patrol.
I do not.
Do you remember her saying something to the effect of, my boyfriend, I left him, he never came home?
I do not.
Have you listened with audio to that dash cam at the moment that Officer 𝗃𝗃 arrives at the scene and y'all flag him down?
We just watched it.
Right. Have you listened to it for the audio side? I mean, in other words, instead of focusing on the video.
No.
Okay. I'd like to ask you to do that with court's permission. This is it's been previously marked as Exhibit 4. And with court's permission, I'd like to play that from runtime about 3:50 and ask the witness to concentrate most readily at about 4:07, maybe 10 seconds into it. I'm going to give a little run up and then ask you to listen very closely to the audio.
Yep.
With court's permission?
Yes.
Okay, Evan. Okay, in just a quick second, the door to the car, you can hear it open. I'd like to ask you to pay special attention to the audio portion and Ms. Reed's voice.
Okay.
If you can hear it. Go ahead. Stop. Did you hear that last statement?
No.
Did you hear a woman's voice kind of faint?
I heard a voice, but I didn't make out what she was saying.
Okay. Did it sound like she said, my boyfriend, I dropped him off and he never came home?
Objection. Could you hear that, Ms. Roberts?
No.
Okay, next question.
That's all I have for the video. Take that down. You noted those injuries, correct?
Say it again?
You noted those injuries. Those were,
yes.
You made note of those.
Yes.
Or at least some of them. You said you saw a hematoma of some sort over his right eye. Is that right?
Correct.
And there was some significant swelling to his right eye?
Yes, I did.
Did you also see a laceration to the left side of his nose, a smaller laceration to the left side of his nose?
I don't recall. I know they were coming this way.
Okay. Draining to the left side of his cheek?
Yes.
You saw, well, actually, I don't know if you did or not, so I don't want to put words in your mouth. I apologize. Did you see his right arm?
I did.
Did it appear to you that he had some abrasions or lacerations, parallel abrasions and lacerations and punctures on his right arm?
They were scratches.
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 Ms. Roberts, you previously testified that when you arrived, let me take you back instead of jumping right into it. After you met up with Ms. Reed at Jim McKay's house that morning, so this is just after 5 o'clock or so, the three of you arrived back at One Meadows, correct? Is that right? I'm sorry.
Correct.
Okay. You're trailing the Lexus SUV, correct?
Correct.
The Lexus pulls into the driveway and you pull in directly behind Ms. Reed and Jennifer McCabe is driving.
Correct.
You're driving your SUV, correct?
Correct.
You previously testified that when you arrived at One Meadows at that moment, that once that SUV, the Lexus SUV had pulled in and you pulled in behind the Lexus, you got out of the Lexus, sorry, you got out of your SUV, they got out of the Lexus, and that's a point at which Karen showed you the back of her taillight and said something to the effect of, do you think I hit him? Do you think I hit him? Oh my God, do you think I hit him? Do you recall that?
I recall saying I didn't know if it was when we were coming or going, but she did point out the taillight.
Okay. When you previously testified under oath, SGJ, the grand jury, page 58, lines 14 through 19 for court and counsel. I hit him? Oh my God, do you guys think I hit him? Question mark. End quote. Is that how you testified?
May I see it?
Sure.
With the may I see it shit. They did this a lot today. About, you know, like, oh yeah, bitch, what do you think he's going to show you?
Does it have a date on it, Mr. Jackson?
It's not going to be there. Of course it's going to be there.
4/26/22.
You might as well just say, and this is why, like, we've seen these people say that phone calls aren't real and other.
Do you have the pages after this?
I'm sure I do.
Because in the pages after this,
my
I
question, Ms. Roberts, is that quote that I just said, is that accurate? You see it in the
Yes, it is.
Okay. May I approach?
Yes.
Just for reference.
Exactly. May I see? No, bitch, that's
Pages,
not how
the
this
page I asked you
works.
to look at and then the following.
That's not how this
Please
works.
take your time.
Okay. What I'm looking for is still not here because I did say I wasn't sure if it's before or after.
Ms. Roberts, you do have to wait for questions.
When you gave this testimony, you were in front of a grand jury, correct?
I'm not sure which one that is.
Do you remember testifying in front of a grand jury on April 26, 2022?
Yes.
About 2 years ago.
Yes.
Sorry, 3 years ago. You were under oath at the time. Is that right?
Yes.
They were fresher in your mind at that time than they are now, 3.5 years later, I'm guessing. Right?
Yes.
Okay. You were asked the question to describe the circumstance when you arrived at One Meadows. Is that right?
Yes.
And the answer that you gave was, quote, we pulled into it's a driveway. There's 2 cars and then 2 cars and then a single. So John's car is there. Karen pulls in and I pull in behind her. When we get out, and Karen is now showing us the back of the back of the car, saying, my taillight, do you think I hit him? Do you think I hit him? Oh my God, do you guys think I hit him? That was your testimony at the time, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's a short clip, so I'll play the entire. Can you pause? Do you recognize what's depicted in the video?
Yeah, that's when we arrived at John's house.
Again, there's Karen and Jen pulling in. She says that Karen points out the tail light being broken as soon as they get in there, but the video shows otherwise.
Okay, and who's behind that Lexus SUV, Ms. Roberts? Is there another car?
That's
me.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, arrived at One Meadows.
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and play this through.
Bitch, they walked right in.
Okay.
You liar. You
and you
liar.
You saw the interaction between all three of you and the vehicles, correct?
Yep.
At any point, did anybody stop and take a look at the tail light or the rear end of the car?
Not when we were entering the house like I thought, but when we came out.
Okay. And there's no video of that.
I'm sorry?
There's no video of that.
No, I don't believe so.
Right. So the video that does exist describes nearly exactly the time that you testified that y'all stopped at the back of the taillight and Karen said, look, my taillight's broken. Oh my God, do you think I hit it?
Correct.
Okay. And that obviously was incorrect.
It was incorrect.
So your memory was faulty about that incident, that part of that incident at least.
It happened on the way out of the house.
So your memory was faulty about that part of the incident that you testified to at the grand jury.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, she wants so hard to be like, well, no, but I meant like she wants to be able to talk more than she can, and it's like, bitch, you cannot talk your way out of this. Your memory was faulty. That's what you said. This specific thing at the grand jury, like this fucking doesn't matter. Like someone didn't get indicted for murder as a result of your testimony. You know,
you were interviewed on January 29th. You've already testified to that, correct? By
Yes.
Troopers Dunn and my memory's failing me.
I believe I was in shock. So
I'm sure it's in my notes somewhere. Two individuals that interviewed you on January 29th, correct?
yes,
Obviously, things were very, very fresh in your mind at that point.
yes, but I believe I was in shock. So
The incident had just happened.
yes,
No.
Okay, and you were asked to recount certain of the specifics about the incident that you had just experienced, not days or weeks, but just hours before, correct?
Yes.
hours before. Yeah.
And you did your best, I'm sure, Ms. Roberts, to be as full-throated as possible, to provide them with as much detailed information as you could, and to be as honest as you could.
yes,
I mean, you weren't going to lie to these police officers, right?
no,
In your very first
I'm with
conversation
you.
with
I'm with you.
those two troopers on January 29th, you didn't mention anything about a taillight or a cracked taillight. Or
No,
you
I did
hadn't
not.
seen a cracked taillight, did you?
no, I did not.
Okay.
I didn't
then-
want to accuse anybody of anything.
You were then
What?
interviewed on February 1st, 2022.
She didn't want to accuse anyone of anything. I'm going to repeat that. When did she say this?
Yes,
I mean, you weren't going to lie to these police officers, right?
no,
In your very first conversation with those two troopers on January 29th, you didn't mention anything about a taillight or a cracked taillight. Or
No,
you
I did
hadn't
not.
seen a cracked taillight, did you?
no, I did not. I didn't
then-
want to accuse anybody of anything.
You were
Oh my fucking God. Like she's already got an answer. Like she already has been prepped about the weaknesses of her statement. And it's like, so what is your answer going to be for that? About why you didn't tell on January 29th, the day this fucking happened, the day Karen did this, you didn't tell the police this. Why? Oh, I didn't want to accuse Karen of anything. Oh, right. Yeah. You were really looking out for Karen Reed's best interests at that time. Oh, sure you were. No, your story evolved over 3 days because Jennifer McCabe got to you, bitch. Because you're an easily manipulated puppet. That's all you are. You're a good dog. You are fucking stupid. You're the reason that women couldn't vote till 1920. Okay? You're fucking dumb. And that's why you didn't tell it on January 20th, because it didn't happen. And you said it 3 days later because you cannot admit, you don't have it in you to admit that you are fucking easily manipulated. You do not want to come to terms with that reality, Kerry Roberts, but that is the reality. And I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but that is who you are. You need to see a fucking therapist or some shit. You got a lot of issues, girl. You got a lot of issues.
then interviewed on February 1st, 2022, a few days later, correct?
I don't know.
Does that
I don't
sound
know the
right?
exact date. I was interviewed again, but I don't know the exact date.
Okay. During your interview, let me withdraw that and ask you a different question. On February 1st, or whatever day it was, the subsequent time that you were interviewed just a few days later, you did then for the first time describe the taillight that you saw, correct?
Charles
I don't
Scott's pinned to the top.
Would it refresh your recollection if you looked at a report?
Yes, please.
She always wanted to look at the report.
Report.
I'm sorry?
Did Connor Keefe write that report?
You were interviewed on February 1st,
Oh, here we go.
2022 by
Watch this.
a trooper by the name of Connor Keefe.
This was
and
interesting.
A trooper by the name of Kathleen Prince.
Yes. Did Connor Keefe write that report?
I'm sorry?
Did Connor Keefe write that report?
Trooper Kathleen Prince wrote the report.
Okay.
Does that matter?
Yeah.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
Why did she ask that? Like, she's just like, did Connor Keefe write that report? Why is Connor Keefe a liar? Is that what you're saying? Interesting. Where are you going with that? Like, why is she asking? Why are you asking him questions? Like, I'm like, what is this dynamic here? Who do you think you are exactly that you ask? Your job is to sit there and answer goddamn questions. Shut up and answer the fucking questions.
Does that refresh your recollection that you did discuss the taillight at that time?
Yes.
And did you tell Trooper Prince and Trooper Keefe that you noticed the back right taillight in the middle, quote, in the middle, your words, was broken and a piece of the metal encasement was pushed forward?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't say that the taillight was completely shattered, correct?
Correct.
You didn't say that the entire lens was missing, correct?
Correct.
You said it was broken in the middle. Is that
Yes.
right? And then you described today that a square piece was missing.
Yes. That's the piece I was referring to in the middle.
Just in the middle of the taillight, though. That was how you described it.
Yes.
I'd like to shift gears for a quick second and talk about a March 7th, 2023 text message with victim witness advocate Steve Nelson. Do you remember communicating? You don't have to know the exact date, but if you do, fine. Do you remember communicating in March of 2023 with victim witness advocate Steve Nelson about the Ring camera at _Meadows?
I don't know the exact date, but yes.
Okay.
Oh, I've seen this.
Is it true that
this is like the only text that they bring up? And to me, there's much worse than this. This is nothing but asking about the Ring camera. Can we get rid of it?
contacted him to inform him that the O'Keefes needed to replace or wanted to replace the driveway Ring camera, that same Ring camera that we just literally saw through that perspective
Yes.
of you arriving?
Yes.
Did Mr. Nelson indicate that he believed that would be fine to replace that Ring camera if the O'Keefes wished to do that?
I don't remember if he said it would be fine, but at some point they were told they could replace it. It had broken. It wasn't working.
Did he indicate that he would check with DDA Adam Lally and then get back to you?
I don't know.
At some point, you were informed that the O'Keefes had the green light or the go ahead to replace that Ring camera at _Meadows. Is that right?
Oh, God.
Yes.
Okay. And then ultimately, you then relayed that to the O'Keefes that they had the green light. You talked to somebody at the DA's office and they said, yeah, go ahead and replace the camera, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever receive any kind of response from the DA's office either before or after you relayed this information to the O'Keefes to say, wait, hold on, we need to do a reconstruction. We need to make sure that the camera is in the exact same spot that it was at the time of the incident?
No.
Any communication like that?
No.
So the communication that you got was, yep, go ahead and replace it. It's no big deal.
Correct.
Okay. And ultimately, you learned that the O'Keefes did, in fact, replace that Ring camera.
Correct.
You have already described your relationship, at least in part, with Canton Police Officer Sergeant Michael Lang, correct?
Yes.
He is friends with you?
His daughter is friends with my daughter.
Your friend Lee with the family?
Yes.
Okay. And you're aware that he's also friends with the Albert family?
No. Well, no.
Were you aware that
Oh,
that
no,
Michael Lang grew up
no.
with Chris Albert?
I was not.
Oh,
Have you ever been in
no.
a social setting with both the Lanks and the Alberts?
No, I didn't know anything. Oh, no.
You're aware, obviously, you were at the scene. He was the first officer to respond to the crime scene at 34 Fairview on January 29th after Officer Seraph and after Mulaney arrived. Right? That was Sergeant Lang.
I don't know which order. I did see Sergeant Lang there. Yes.
Was he the excuse me, text message between the two of you about the subject of the Ring camera?
Sure. Do I need to know the date?
May I approach? I need to know the date.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you. You indicated that you did recognize Sergeant Lang at the scene.
Yes, I did.
You had a conversation with him.
No. I said, Mike, is that you? He said yes, and that was it.
All right. Following that, the next day, you did go to his house. You've already described that.
I did.
You indicated that you went to his house to drop off your daughter for a play date. Is that right?
Yes.
But you also indicated that you took Jennifer McCabe with you.
Yes, because I drove Jen McCabe to the O'Keefe's house, so she was leaving to go home with me. So I was going to drop her off.
Okay, so your memory is you took Miss McCabe from where over to the Lang's house?
I think she was at home.
So you picked her up?
Yes.
At her house?
Yes.
With anybody else?
With my daughter, my son. I picked up her and either one or two of her daughters. I don't remember.
What?
And then you drove over to the Lang's house. Is that right?
No, I drove to the O'Keefe's house.
First?
Yes.
And what did you do with the
Then
O'Keefe's
left a couple of kids, and my daughter wanted to go to the Lang's house, so I drove my daughter to the Lang's house before driving home.
And Jen's child was with you on the way from Jen's house over to the O'Keefe's house?
Yes, one or two daughters. I don't know.
Dropped the one or two kids off at the O'Keefe's. Is that right?
As well as my son.
Why the fuck is Jen? So she's bringing kids all over the place, dropping them off at places because they want to hang out together and have play dates. Why the fuck is Jen in the car then? Like you're okay. That's fine. That's believable. You're shipping kids around. They want to go play at this person's house. Why the fuck is Jen there? Why? Like, who does that? Who does that? Like, can you come pick me up? Can your mom pick me up and bring me somewhere? Sure. Can my mom come along for the ride? Can she stick her head out the window like a dog? Can she just loves car rides. My mom loves car rides. So, and she'll sit in the back. She'll sit in the back. Like, what the fuck is this scenario that's going on here?
As well as your son. Then you went to drop off your daughter for the play date.
Well, she was 13, so it wasn't a play date.
Whatever,
I know.
I don't have a 13-year-old. What a date, whatever
Yeah,
it is.
so she went over to her friend's house, yes.
Okay. But you took Jennifer McCabe with you?
Yes, because I was driving her home.
Back to her house without her kids?
Yes, she was going home.
Were you going to go back to the O'Keefe's and pick up her kids and then take all of them home?
She picked Jen up? You picked her up to bring her home? Wait, where were they? Were they at the O'Keefe's? What the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is going on here with this story? Like, she is so convinced, like she knows that the Jen McCabe going to Lank's house, she does not want to admit that that's shady. She can't admit that Jen is shady. She can't do it. Because once she starts doing that, she starts thinking like, holy fuck, have I been played this whole time? She does not want to confront that reality. So she's trying to make this seem innocuous. Like this is no big deal. This is perfectly normal what's happening here. Bitch, it ain't normal. You got played. You got played. She went to Michael Lank's house to talk to Michael Lank. Not to talk to his wife, not to bring the kids and like, no, stupid. What are you doing?
I didn't have a plan. I mean, Patrick, nephew was my son's best friend. So he wanted to be with him.
Okay. Did you, I think you just answered this, but I want to make sure I'm clear about it. You didn't take separate cars. You all went in the same car. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Did anybody stop by or go by 34 Fairview during that roundabout?
No.
Nobody stopped off at 34 Fairview, either on the way or on the way back?
No. I don't believe so. That wouldn't be the route in which to get to my house.
Right. Exactly. You indicated that you stayed, even though you were dropping off your daughter, y'all stayed, you and Ms. McCabe stayed at Sergeant Lank's house for some 45 minutes. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
And Sergeant Lank's wife, you indicated, was in the backseat of your car?
Yes.
Did y'all ever go inside the house?
Jen went in to go to the bathroom.
Was Sergeant Lank there?
I don't know. I didn't go in.
You didn't have any communications with Sergeant Lank?
Don't know.
I'm sorry?
You didn't have any communications with Sergeant Lank and Mike Lank on that trip?
No, I did not.
But you don't know whether or not Jen did?
I don't know whether or not Jen did. She went in the house to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I mean, what is this scenario? So you went over the house, and I think her name is Trish Lank, gets in the car and just sits in the back of the car. And then Jen's like, I gotta take a shit. And she goes into the house, but we don't know if Mike Lank's inside. We don't know. She's just taking a shit. And then Trish, instead of Trish Lank inviting them into her house, they're like, let's sit in your car for some fucking reason. Yeah, okay. Except when Jen needed to drop a deuce. All right.
You've indicated that there have been occurrences in which Jennifer McCabe has asked you to contact the DA's office on her behalf to ask a question here or there, get some information, correct?
To Steve Nelson, yes.
Okay. How many times, just the number of times, the volume, would you say that Ms. McCabe has asked you to reach out to the DA's office in one particular or another?
I don't think very many.
What does that mean? Of the 50 times that you've had
No,
communications?
maybe like 4. Not many, to my knowledge.
When you would, on these 4 occasions or 4 or so occasions, when you would reach out to the DA's office, gather information, whatever that information may be, would you then report that information back to Ms. McCabe?
Yes.
I'm with you on that. That's what worries me, Richie. That
you obviously understand the importance.
And that's what worries me, Richie, is just like I'm watching the jury and there's 18 of them. And I'm like, are they what are they picking up on here? Just from Ronnie's exit interview, like none of this shit mattered at all to the jury. And it's like, this is a lot to follow for the jury. And I wonder if they get it, you know, but.
So providing statements to law enforcement that are free of influence of other people, other witnesses. Is that right?
Say it again.
You understand the importance of providing information to law enforcement as a witness to law enforcement, free of influence from other people.
Yeah.
In other words, you want to be as accurate and as independent as possible.
Yes.
And that's because if your statement is somehow, or if your communications with law enforcement are somehow influenced by others, it might call into question the credibility of the person providing the statement. Objection.
Can you answer that question, Ms. Roberts?
You have provided in this case, Ms. Roberts. There's been several of them. The first time you told your story to law enforcement was on January 29th. We've already established that, correct?
Say that again?
It was on January 29th, the first time you relayed your story to law enforcement.
Yes.
And that was to Trooper Dunn and Trooper 𝗵𝗄𝗄𝗍. That's the name I couldn't remember.
I don't remember.
But you do remember Trooper Dunn?
I remember 2 troopers. I don't know their name.
Okay. Where did that interview take place?
In my dining room.
And who was with you when you gave that interview? If anybody?
My husband was home. I think my daughter was home at that point. My husband was home. I don't know if the kids were home.
Nobody else from outside the family?
No.
Okay. Who contacted you about doing that interview? How did they know to come to you at your home?
I don't remember. They may have just shown up. I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember what time the interview was?
Maybe around dinner time, maybe around 5, 6.
Was it recorded?
I'm sorry?
Was it recorded in any way? Tape recorder running?
I don't think so.
The troopers were taking notes, obviously?
I believe so.
During your conversation with, and I'm jumping around a bit, so I apologize. During your conversation or conversations with Mr. Brennan and the DA's, members of the DA's office in preparation for your testimony, were any of those interviews recorded?
No.
Was anybody taking notes?
No.
None of the DA's were actually taking notes, the ADAs?
I didn't look around the table to see if anyone was taking notes, but I didn't see them taking notes.
No pads and pens on the table?
There's a lot of stuff on the table, but I didn't see anybody taking notes.
Okay. You received a phone call just before that interview started at 5:25 p.m., correct?
Yes.
Around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Is this the night of the 29th, you mean?
This is the night.
By the way, I pieced this together when I went through Jen McCabe's call log and the thing that, like, holy shit, Jen McCabe spoke to her for like 30 minutes right before Kerry was interviewed by the police. right before. It's fucking creepy when you look at Jennifer McCabe's call log. Talk about controlling. And then she testifies today that, oh yeah, I talked to her right before I came here. Of course you did. Exactly. Stupid. Don't say that.
I'm jumping back to the night of the 29th.
Yeah, I'm not following you very well.
That's okay. On the 29th,
Yeah.
you were interviewed around 5:25 p.m., maybe just a little bit before that.
Yeah.
You received a phone call just before that, correct?
I do not know.
Isn't it true that Jen McCabe called you and spoke to you just before that?
I spoke to Jen McCabe the entire day.
Okay. Including just before that interview?
I don't know.
Did you tell Jen McCabe that you were about to be interviewed?
No.
Did you tell her at some point did you text her and tell her that the officers had arrived?
I don't think so.
Did she text you back and say, call me right after?
I don't know.
Okay. During the course of that interview, when the incident was still pretty fresh in your mind, you indicated that at about 5 a.m. you got a call from Karen Reed indicating that John never came home and that she was worried, correct?
Correct.
You also indicated that she was worried that John may be walking and may have gotten hit by a plow. You relayed that to the officers?
Yes.
You indicated that you met up with Karen Reed and Jennifer McCabe at Jennifer McCabe's house, and Karen was hysterical and worried that something had happened to John.
Yes.
You also indicated that once you were at 34 Fairview, once y'all had made your way over to 34 Fairview, Karen saw John and ran to him, although you and Jennifer didn't see him initially, correct?
That's correct.
You said that Karen was repeating the phrase, is he dead, over and over. Is that right?
That is correct.
You also indicated that she said that if anything happened to John, she'd kill herself, correct?
That's what she said to me.
Object.
So the objection is sustained.
Did you indicate at any time, I'm sorry, let me ask a different.
I don't know.
Okay. Would it refresh your recollection to look at that, Jen, that if there was anything further that you could recall that would be useful, please provide it. Please give it to at that time.
I don't know.
Okay. Would it refresh your recollection to look at that January 29th report?
Sure.
Of course.
Were you informed that you were Trooper Dunn, Trooper 𝗪𝗪? They indicated after you gave your statement that if you wish to provide anything additional, now's the time to do it. Objection.
Sustained.
Were you informed that you were limited on time in that interview? Meaning, we got to get this done. We're leaving. We're out of time.
No.
They didn't cut you off, correct?
No.
They didn't tell you that they had a limited amount of information that they wanted and they were just going to leave, correct?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
As a matter of fact, they told you that anything you wanted to provide to them, provide it. Give them as much detail as you could, correct?
I don't recall.
You just read the last statement that these troopers indicated, correct? If there's anything further she can recall that would be useful, please provide that information. Yeah.
Sustained.
May we approach?
Yes.
Told you at the end of the interview.
I don't recall.
May I?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, listen to her.
Having looked at the report,
No, bring it to her and show it to her again.
she's just, it's the same thing that I just showed her. Having looked at the report, does that refresh your recollection about what Trooper Dunn and 𝗪𝗪𝗪 told you at the end of the interview?
I don't recall.
I
It's
don't
not refreshing.
recall.
I'm not remembering it. Even reading it, I'm not remembering it.
Like, that's just fucking crazy. Like, she shows the police report and like, here's what they said that you said. Does this refresh your memory? No, it doesn't. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Okay. You don't like these people look at shit. They're like, well, here's your phone call records of you calling each other at 2:22 in the morning. Do you remember doing that? No. Must have been a butt dial. Do you remember saying this? No, I don't remember saying. It's just amazing what they can get away with. Like, what? But you clearly did say that. It's in the report.
Okay, fair enough. So as you sit here, the details about what you told or what those two officers told you are not fresh in your mind, and nothing's refreshing your recollection about that.
Right.
Okay, but you do remember the basics of what I just described in that conversation with those two troopers.
I mean, they asked me what happened. I told them, but I was also in shock.
You never said during the course of that interview
shock and
that
Lara.
my client called you at 5 o'clock in the morning just hours earlier and said he's dead and then hung up, correct?
Never
No,
mentioned that.
I don't believe I said it at that point. I did not remember that until a couple of days later.
I see.
What? This is when I'm like, oh, as soon as she said that, I did not remember that until a couple days later. That she called me at 5 a.m. and told me John's dead. And oh yeah, I didn't remember that on January 29th. That's not why it's in the report. But then I talked to Jen a lot more and I suddenly remembered it. Everyone listening to this gets it. They're like, oh, Jen's getting her to say shit. But the light bulb hasn't gone off in her head yet. That holy shit, I've been played. She can't figure it out. She's too retarded.
And in fact, when you were asked about that particular statement, when you were asked about that particular series of events, that never came to your mind.
No.
That literally, the first words out of Karen Reed's mouth, according to you now, is he's dead, and then hung up.
Correct.
When you heard that, you didn't take that to mean that she killed him.
No.
Of course not. She was panicked, correct?
Yes.
You did add that, one other thing that you didn't add in your initial statement to Trooper Dunn and Trooper 𝗪𝗪𝗪 was anything about the tail light either, correct?
Not.
Okay. And you also didn't say anything about any sort of a Google search or the praying that you talked about in the back of the patrol car, anything like that?
No, I don't know. I don't remember.
The second time you were interviewed, that was the February 1st interview. That was with Kathleen Prince and Connor Keith, correct? And you just looked at that report, at least part of that report. Is that right?
Say it again.
Connor Keith and Kathleen Prince, that was on February 1st, 3 days after your initial statement, correct?
I don't remember the date, but I remember meeting with them.
Okay. I want to make sure I get the dates down, so I'm sorry to belabor this, but.
I agree with that, Allison.
May I approach? Yes.
Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
What date was it that you met with me?
February 1st.
So now the February 1st, 3 days later. What does it
That
say on
second
that
interview
day?
was conducted at 12 Country Lane, correct?
Yes.
And who again lives at 12 Country Lane?
She's at
Jennifer
Jen's
McCabe.
house. Jen's house.
So the second time you told your memory,
Like, is Jen McCabe's house the state police barracks? Like, this is just where interviews going to happen. Miss Roberts, we're going to need to, talk to you about this murder. Okay, cool. Would you like me to come on into the station and take a report? No, actually the station is Jen McCabe's house. That's where we meet now for meetings. We don't record anything. We might not even take notes. She'll be in the other room. She swears she's not listening. But everything happens at Jen McCabe's house. Yeah, this is on the up and up though. Bye. Sure.
Your story to law enforcement, you were literally sitting in Jennifer McCabe's house.
Yes.
And you had met with Jennifer McCabe before your interview, correct?
Yes. We were putting a timeline together.
So you two were
Timeline.
prepping. That's a valid term. Prepping for your interview, putting a timeline together, correct?
We were putting a timeline together at the request of Mrs. O'Keefe.
And Jennifer McCabe was helping you with the timeline, and you were helping her with the timeline.
Yes, we were putting together the events of what had happened.
So she was helping you, and you were helping her. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
This is just an amazing admittance. We knew about the timeline from last time, but it's like you were collaboratively working on a group project with Jen in which you were determining times. Previously, none of this happened. And then you did the timeline project with Jen, and the timeline spoke to you. And now it's just like, but it's in my timeline. Like she believes this. I'm convinced she believes this shit because she's fucking retarded. Like there's no other way around it. She's just retarded. She doesn't want to come to terms with the reality that she has surrounded herself with the psychopath. But mark my words, she will someday. Someday she's going to figure Jen out. It's going to click. Like Jen's going to do something to fuck her over someday. She's going to, she's going to overhear a conversation that she's not supposed to hear with Jen, in which she's bad mouthing her. Someday it's going to catch up to her. These relationships always fall apart. This is not an equal relationship. This is Jennifer McCabe using this fucking moron, and this moron just being like, no, it was in the timeline. No. Good God. What an idiot.
So both of you were assisting in each other's memories, correct?
Yes.
I remember this, and you remember this, and okay, now I remember this, correct?
Yep.
Obviously, that would help influence your memory, going over the event with someone else, correct?
Yep.
So what's on that timeline, you would agree, is not completely independent, your memory. It's a combination of your memory and Jennifer McCabe's memory. Isn't that right?
Yes.
So the two of you drew out some sort of a timeline for you to follow during the course of that interview. Is that right?
For me to follow what?
During the course of that February 1st interview, as you were interviewed in Miss McCabe's house. That was the purpose of the timeline, to help you with that interview?
No, that wasn't the purpose of the timeline.
You used it for that purpose, though, obviously.
We did not. I was at Jen's house making a timeline, and the two officers showed up to interview her. I just happened to be there.
Right. And when they interviewed you.
Oh my God. She just happened to be there. We were working on our project, our group project timeline, and the cops just showed up. And so that's why I did the interview there. They just caught me there. Oh yeah. What are the odds? What are the odds?
That timeline in front of you. That's my question.
No, I did not.
Okay. But you had just created it along with Jennifer McCabe.
Some of it.
Okay. And then it was after that, this timeline was coordinated between the two of you, that you actually told your second story to Trooper Prince. And when I say second story, I mean as the second time you were interviewed on February 1st as opposed to January 29th. Is that right?
The trial channel's here. Thank you for.
Did you ever become aware of text messages that Jennifer McCabe was sending to others in a group chat talking about you?
This is great.
No.
You were never told or became aware that she sent text messages to a group as she listened in on your interview?
No, I don't think she could listen in. She wasn't anywhere near me.
You weren't aware that or are you aware as you sit here that she sent a text message that said she's telling them everything, all the stuff?
Sustained.
Have you ever been provided a text message or told about a text message that perhaps Jennifer McCabe was sending to a group?
No.
Listening to your suggesting that she was listening to your interview?
No.
Do you believe her? Do you believe her, guys? I could go either way. Again, last trial, we saw that Jennifer McCabe, because of the FBI investigation, these text messages were revealed showing that Jennifer McCabe was listening in on Kerry's interview at her house and sending a message back to Matt McCabe, Nicole Albert, and Brian Albert saying she's telling them everything. Okay. That came out at trial. And we are to believe that 9 months later, Kerry is still unaware of this, that she was being that Jennifer McCabe was eavesdropping on her. I got to be perfectly honest with you. I could go either way on this one. She might be telling the truth, because I think you're underestimating how retarded she is. She might be that retarded that she did not watch Jennifer McCabe's entire thing. Like Jennifer McCabe might have told her, don't even watch it. Don't even watch it. Like she can control Kerry. She can do whatever she wants to Kerry. And she probably doesn't want Kerry knowing that. So there is a chance, there is a world in which Jennifer McCabe told Kerry, don't watch my testimony. And it's too heartbreaking. I don't want you to, and Cherry's like, okay. I don't know. I think it could, probably not. She's probably lying. I'm probably overthinking this one, but I don't know. That's wild if she just didn't watch any of Jen McCabe's testimony, because that's what this requires. If she doesn't know about that group text message, if she's just finding out about this for the first time, then that means that she didn't watch Jennifer McCabe's testimony at the last trial. I find that hard to believe, but also she's so retarded that maybe, I'm just saying.
The third time you told your story was later that night.
Yeah, I'm probably overthinking it.
With Trooper Proctor?
I'm probably overthinking it. I know.
Requested to speak to Trooper Proctor because I had remembered the very first time I spoke with Karen that morning, and I wanted to make sure it was recorded.
Okay, that wasn't my question. My question was, did you have another telephonic conversation with Trooper Proctor? Yes or no?
You said that night, but it wasn't that night.
When was it?
I think it was earlier that day.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, fuck it. She's lying. She watched it. She definitely watched it. And maybe she's like trying to pretend like she didn't watch it because it's embarrassing that she's still friends with Jen after that. I mean, that's fucked up. Jen is just like literally showing that you were eavesdropped on, like it's just crazy.
Meaning, but it was after the interview with Trooper Prince.
I don't think so.
Think it was beforehand?
I think it was beforehand.
You were still with Jennifer McCabe when that call took place, correct?
I was in her house. I was not with her. I stepped away to speak to him by myself.
In her home at 12 Country Lane?
Correct.
Who else was with you other than Jennifer McCabe in the house?
Her sister was there writing down the timeline for us. Her sister, Denise.
Denise? So she was scribing the timeline as you and Jennifer McCabe were creating
She was writing it down as we were remembering things.
Right. And the three of you were doing this together, sort of communally.
Yes.
She would say something, then you would say something, then it would spark something that she would say, and back and forth, right?
Yes.
How is it that Trooper Proctor got a hold of you? Did you call him or did he call you?
I think he was on the phone with Jen and I asked to speak to him.
So Trooper Proctor got a hold of you through talking to Jen McCabe.
Well, I asked to speak to him, but yes.
Right. Was that interview recorded, to your knowledge?
I don't know.
The fourth time you met with police was February 2nd, the very next day, about 12:08 p.m. Is that right?
I don't remember.
The day
Do you
Karen
remember
Reed was
about signing a consent form for your phone?
Yes.
Arraigned.
Was that the next day after this interview with Trooper Prince and Trooper?
I don't know what day it was. It was right after Karen was arraigned for the first time. Jen and I met with them and both handed our phones over willingly.
So you just answered my question. So when you met with police, whatever the date was, it was a few days later, you met with police. The fourth time, you were still in the presence of Jennifer McCabe when you met with police.
Yes.
And handed your phone over. Is that right?
Yes.
She handed her phone over. Is that right?
Yes.
And the two of you were together when you signed your consent forms. Is that right?
Yes.
The fifth time you told your story was in front of a grand jury. Is that right?
I don't know.
Do you remember testifying in front of a grand jury?
I do.
Let's talk about that for a second. Before you testified in
Here
the
we
grand
go.
jury, just
Here
physically
we
you were
go.
brought into an anteroom where you waited to be called by ADA Adam Loudon, correct?
Yes.
Who was in that anteroom with you just before you gave your testimony?
My husband and Jen and Matt McCabe.
Wow.
So Jennifer McCabe was with you yet again just before
Wow.
you gave
Yep.
official testimony
Wow.
under oath concerning this case and concerning the incident.
Yep.
Correct.
Ms. Roberts, when was the last time you spoken to Jennifer McCabe before you
Here we
testified
go.
in this trial?
In this morning.
Of course. Of course.
Did you discuss your testimony?
No.
So you and Ms. McCabe who became friends because of this incident,
Correct.
talked as recently as this morning before your testimony.
Correct.
And your testimony now is that you did not discuss anything about what you're doing here.
No.
Or what you're
I
going to
did
testify
not. She
to.
called to wish me good luck today.
When did you talk to her the last time before
That
this?
right.
Before this morning?
Good luck.
I don't know, maybe a couple days ago. I don't remember.
Within days of you taking the stand yesterday, correct?
Yes.
Ms. Roberts, I'm going to ask you to take a look at, actually, let me ask it a different way. Did you say that you did or did not recall texting with Jen McCabe during the course of that January 29th interview with state police? You recall that or no?
No.
Okay.
During the interview, I didn't text anybody.
Okay. Are you saying you didn't text anybody or you don't recall?
I don't recall. I don't think I had I wouldn't be texting somebody if I was being interviewed by the state police.
Right. Okay. Would it refresh your recollection to take a look at a report of text messages?
Sure.
May I approach you?
Yes. Okay.
Proceed?
Yes.
Okay. Did you take a look at this document?
Yes.
Does that refresh your recollection that there were 2 text messages at around the time of your interview with those 2 troopers?
No.
Did you?
What?
Do you recall as you sit here texting Ms. McCabe that the state troopers were arriving or they're just getting there?
No.
Do you recall Ms. McCabe texting you anything back about calling me after?
No.
Okay. Did you, in fact, different question, did you?
Like, this is wild. I just don't recall texting. How do you talk your way out of that one? The calls, you could just be like, those are butt dials. Are they butt texts too? Did your ass write out complete sentences and hit fucking enter? What? How do you not remember a text message? It's right fucking there. Jesus Christ.
Did you call Ms. McCabe right after the interview and talk to her?
I don't know.
Have you ever testified that at the scene, Ms. Reed was seated in the back of a patrol car along with Jennifer McCabe, and you were standing just outside the car, and there was an interaction among the 3?
Yes.
Have you ever testified, or have you ever stated in any particular, that during that interaction, Karen asked the 3 of you to pray?
Yes.
Have you ever said or testified that during that interaction where you're seated, where they are seated in the back of the patrol car, and Ms. Reed asked you to pray, that Ms. Reed said to Jennifer McCabe, Google hypothermia?
No.
You've never said that?
I've never said that.
Really?
You testified at the grand jury on April 26th. Is that right? April 26th, 2022?
I do not know.
Right? Does that sound right? April 26th, 2022?
I have no idea.
Late April 2022, does that sound right?
I don't know. It was 2022.
You testified under oath, correct?
Yes.
Swore the same oath that you swore here?
Yes.
The whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and no perjury. Is that right?
Yep.
Is it your testimony that you have never said that Karen told Jen to Google hypothermia, or that you don't recall saying that?
I don't recall saying that.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at a portion of your grand jury testimony from that day?
It might.
May I approach?
Yes.
You testified under oath at the grand jury that at some point Karen was in back of the police cruiser, correct?
Yep.
Objection.
No, I'll allow that question.
Does that refresh your recollection as to what you told the grand jury?
Yes.
And isn't it true that at some point during the course of your testimony under oath, you said that Karen was in the back of the police cruiser?
Yes.
And then you went on to describe that Karen and Jen and I were standing outside, and she made us all start holding hands and starting to pray.
Yes.
I mean, what the she being Karen Reed, right?
Yes.
And at this point, they had lifted John up and taken him onto the gurney, correct? That's
I don't
what you
know.
described.
I don't recall.
I'm going to do this again, just so we're clear.
Yep. I say I think. So I'm not positive. Okay. Yes.
This is the
you think, at least that's what
this is the Commonwealth grand jury, I believe. This is in April 26th of 2022.
We're telling the grand jurors, you think that was the point at which they lifted John up
Yes.
and moved him into the ambulance, correct? Is that right?
Yes.
And then you were asked the question, what, if anything, did she, Ms. Reed, ask Ms. McCabe while they were sitting in the back of the cruiser that you heard, correct? Objection.
Do you recall that?
I did not hear the question about Google being asked.
That's not my question. May I ask? May I inquire?
Just repeat that question.
Sure. Isn't it true that you were next asked by Mr. Lally in front of the ground zero, quote, what, if anything, did she, Ms. Reed, ask Ms. McCabe while they were sitting in the back of the cruiser that you heard?
That you heard.
Remember being asked that question?
No.
That you heard.
Yes.
Does that refresh your recollection? That was the question you were asked?
Yes.
That you heard.
And in response to that question, you stated, quote, at one point she asked her to Google hypothermia and how long Google hypothermia, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
That was very detailed. You agree that that's a very detailed and specific recount of an event. You recounted where you were, back of a cruiser, or they were in the back of a cruiser, correct?
Yep.
You recorded the time. It was right around the time that you thought they were lifting Don up and sweeping him up onto the gurney, correct?
Yep. I thought it was about that time. I wasn't sure.
Location.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that answer. You were talking over each other.
That's my mistake.
What was your answer, Ms.
I
Roberts?
thought it was about the time they lifted him up, but I wasn't sure.
You were very detailed about who was there. It was you. It was Jen. It was my client, Kerry,
Yes.
correct? Is that right?
Yes.
You're so detailed that you talked about where you were standing next to the cruiser open door, correct?
Yes.
What the others were doing, holding hands and praying, is that right?
Yes.
And the actual words used. You're as detailed about all of that as the actual words used. She asked her to Google hypothermia and how long, when you stopped, Google hypothermia, end quote, correct?
Correct.
You will agree, at least for that purpose, you painted a very, very detailed picture in front of the grand jury, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Except it's not true, is it?
I did not hear her ask that. I was told she was asked that. In
The answer to my question, Ms. Roberts, not your question.
It's just like it's all. If she was smart, this would all be clicking to her. She's like, "Yeah, I was told that Karen asked Jen to Google hypothermia by Jen. I was told that by Jen. Wait a minute. Someday I really hope it just clicks for her one day. Like, holy shit. It was Jen all along. She's been doing, holy fuck. She was always there, wasn't she? It's like she can't figure it out. She can't figure it out.
What you told the grand jurors was not true. You never heard her, my client, ask anyone to Google anything, did you?
I did not.
And yet that's what you testified to under oath, under the penalty of perjury, in front of the grand jury, didn't you?
I did.
And the reason you did that, the reason that you said that false statement is because someone told you to say it, correct? Object.
Is that? I'm going to let her answer.
Nobody told me to say it. I knew it happened at that time.
How did you
which is
know
why I
it
said
happened? How did you know it happened, Ms. Roberts, if no one told you it happened?
Because we wrote a timeline. We already spoke about
So
that.
the timeline that Jennifer McCabe helped you with, that influenced your testimony in front of the grand
The
jury.
timeline
correct?
spoke to her.
Obviously.
I was telling what happened in the back of the cruiser.
The timeline that you wrote,
So when you ask a question, let her answer, okay?
the timeline you wrote, that Jennifer McCabe's help influenced your testimony to testify in front of the grand jury to the statement that you never heard, correct?
Yes.
You were later asked about that statement in another investigation. I'm sorry, by another investigator or set of investigators, correct?
I don't know.
Were you interviewed by a different law enforcement agency, a separate law enforcement agency from the Massachusetts State Police at any time?
Yes.
And you were told that to lie to those agents would be a crime, correct?
Yes.
Punishable by prison, correct?
Yep.
I was not told that.
They asked you whether or not you heard Karen Reed ever say anything to Jennifer McCabe about Googling anything, correct?
I don't know.
Isn't it true that you told them what you've just now told us, which is, I did not hear Karen Reed ask Jennifer McCabe to conduct any Google searches?
I don't recall.
It will refresh your recollection to look at a copy of that interview and that report.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ms. Roberts, do you recognize that as being a report of an interview that you conducted?
I've never seen this before, but
Understood. You may never have seen it, but does it remind you that that's
Yes.
a report of a conversation you had with another law
Yes.
enforcement agency? I'm going to ask you to turn to page 7
This is the
of the
Fed.
report.
Yeah.
And if you look, there's a small paragraph, about 2 paragraphs up from the bottom. I think I might put a little blue dot by it, but I'm not sure. Please read that to yourself.
This is the Feds, I believe.
Correct.
This is the Fed.
Done?
Yep.
Thank you. May I approach?
yes.
Thank you. Ms. Roberts, does that refresh your recollection about what you told these investigators?
Yes.
And what you told them was you, quote, did not hear Karen Reed ask Jennifer McCabe to conduct any Google
That is
search.
correct.
And you went on to say you saw McCabe on her phone.
I'll allow it.
You saw McCabe on her phone, but you did not hear Karen ask Jennifer to Google anything.
Correct.
So what you told the grand jurors was, in fact, false.
I misunderstood Mr. Lally's question.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Brennan, any questions?
Thank you. Thank you.
When you spoke to the grand jury about your memory,
That
were you
went
trying
well.
to fool them in any way?
No.
Were you trying to?
Objection.
Watch the form of your questions.
And did the defendant ask Ms. McCabe? Did you begin your response by saying at one point
You can show her response.
heard that statement?
I'll allow that.
Did you
No, I
tell the
did
grand jury when you were asked that question by Mr. Lally at the grand jury? Did you ever say you specifically, personally heard that statement?
I'll allow that.
Did you
No,
ever
I
tell
did
the
not.
grand jury you actually heard that statement being made?
I did not.
And when you spoke to the people in that report that you looked at on page 7, did you ever tell them you specifically heard that statement being made?
No.
Were you consistent in both of those statements?
Sustained.
Did you say anything different as far as what you personally observed between those statements?
I'll allow that.
No.
And when you were asked about what the defendant may have said to Ms. McCabe or Mrs. McCabe, did you generalize your answer?
Sustained.
Did you begin your answer with "at one point"?
Yes.
When you chose the words "at one point," what were you trying to convey to the grand jury?
I'll allow that.
I didn't know at what time it was done.
Was that a topic of conversation around the time you were brought to the grand jury?
Around the time what?
That you were brought to the grand jury to testify? It was a Google search.
Was it? I don't know.
Okay. Were you asked here in front of this jury whether or not you personally heard that statement?
Yes.
By me. Did I ask you that question?
No.
Did you personally hear that statement?
No.
After this happened, you discussed what had happened with people, didn't you?
I'm sorry, say it again?
After you found John lying in the snow, did you discuss what had happened, what you saw with other people?
Yes.
Did anybody tell you that you couldn't discuss the trauma that you had been through?
I'm going to allow that.
Say it again?
Did anybody tell you that you couldn't discuss what you had just seen?
No. Didn't say it again? I'm sorry.
After you found John that morning, did anybody, civilian or law enforcement, ever tell you you weren't allowed to discuss what you had just went through?
No.
Did anybody ever tell you that you couldn't have support of other people?
No.
I'll allow that.
No.
Was this a traumatic event?
Yes.
Have you spoken to it about to a number of people about it?
Yes.
Tell us why you would want to speak to somebody about what happened that morning.
I'm going to allow that.
I've spoken to many people, obviously, that we all grew up with. But Jen in particular, I do speak to her. I am friends with her. We went through a really traumatic experience
We're
together.
friends. We're friends.
Did you ever confide in other people other than Jen McCabe about what you endured that morning?
Yes, many people.
Why?
Because it helps me get through. Yes.
You still friends with them?
Yes.
Do you ever discuss what happened?
Yes.
Legal obligation to give your phone to law enforcement. That were on that phone.
Do you know that?
I don't know. They cloned my phone, so I assume they saw everything.
I'm going to.
You said that you stayed friendly and still are friendly with Peggy O'Keefe and John Sr.?
Yes.
Okay. At some point, at times, do you try to help them with things?
Daily.
Do you try to help them with the children?
Sustained.
Well, you were asked about contacting the district attorney's office about replacing the Ring camera.
Yes.
Whose Ring camera was that?
It was at One Meadows where Mr. and Mrs. O'Keefe, John's parents, are now living.
What motivated you to call the district attorney's office about the Ring camera?
Because we knew the ring might be some sort of evidence.
Who's
that they didn't want to take the camera that was not working down without permission.
Do you have a Ring camera?
I do.
Do you know?
Notice how she's so fucking involved in everything. It's like everything. She acts as she was in constant communication with the district attorney's office, often on behalf of the O'Keefes and on behalf of Jennifer McCabe. Like she was just like, not even on behalf of herself. It's like questions for them. It's madness. Madness.
Difference between the actual physical camera and the iCloud storage that keeps the actual video on it?
I don't know the difference.
Okay. Did you ever ask to replace any hard drives or storage, or were you asked to replace the camera itself?
Just the camera.
And that was in March 7, 2023?
I don't know when.
You were asked questions about what the defendant said that morning when you were trying to help Mr. O'Keefe.
Yes.
You were asked whether you heard any comments from her about dropping John off.
Say that one more time.
You were asked whether you heard any comments about her saying she dropped him off.
In the car on the way to the hospital.
Okay.
She said it to Mrs. O'Keefe.
When you were outside trying to help John, Fairview,
No.
was it ever suggested that he went into any house whatsoever that morning?
No.
You were law enforcement. Did you ever refuse to be interviewed?
No.
You knew?
I was just asked to tell me the story of what happened that morning.
And at some point when you were interviewed, you were asked about the phone calls that the defendant made to you that morning at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
When you received those phone calls, Jennifer McCabe was not on the line, was she?
No.
Was she a party to the calls?
No.
Did she influence your memory in any way about the words that the defendant spoke to you that morning?
I'll allow that.
No.
Do you have a clear memory of what the defendant said to you on the morning of January?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
do you remember it? Back, was there any other party on the line other than you and her?
No. I wasn't supposed to stay in Canton, and Kaylee was here. He would never leave Kaylee by herself. Yes. She said, John, I think he got hit by a plow. He did not come home last night. He would never not have come home. I wasn't supposed to stay in Canton, and Kaylee was here. He would never leave Kaylee by herself.
Did anybody ever ask you to lie
No.
or exaggerate?
No.
Would you?
They didn't have to.
Would you?
No.
Sustained.
Would you?
You asked whether or not you told people on January 29th about the missing pieces to the defendant's taillight. And you began to say you didn't tell anybody that morning.
I didn't think it had anything to do with John. I didn't want to point fingers at anybody.
Yeah, okay. You haven't done the timeline yet. That's why you didn't mention any of this on the 29th, because you didn't do the timeline yet. Once the timeline project's completed, Kerry Roberts is programmed. Like it is the most amazing thing, this timeline.
Because I had no idea what had happened to him. I wasn't going to point fingers at his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't want to do that.
Was it, in fact, broken with missing pieces that morning?
Yes.
You saw the ring video of you and Miss McCabe and the defendant going into John's house?
Yes.
Had you seen that video before today?
Yes.
Had you been shown it before in
Yes.
other proceedings?
Yes.
When you went into the house with Miss McCabe and the defendant, did you do anything before you went into the house, actually in the house?
When we took off our shoes in the.
Oh, here we go with the
Jen and I
shoes.
both took off our boots
Why did you take off your boots?
because you had to take off your shoes to go into John's house.
Well, you say you had to. Explain to us a little bit of the background on that.
John was a neat freak. You were not allowed to wear shoes in the house.
Had you ever worn shoes in his house?
No.
Had you ever seen anybody wear shoes in his house?
No.
You and
We
Miss
do
McCabe?
now.
Oh,
We do now.
Oh, yeah. Now we run wild. Now it's fucking John's dead. Fuck John's house. Fuck that shit. We are fucking that shit up. Oh, now we're having a great time. We're fucking keeping our shoes on and shit. But we took him out. We're really concerned about John, though, that night. We were so concerned that we took our fucking shoes off for some reason. Right.
You and Miss McCabe took your shoes off?
Yes.
Did the defendant take her shoes off?
She did not.
I
do you
can't
remember
believe he's pursuing
Because
that.
Jen and I were standing there for about a good 2 minutes trying to get our boots off, and she had already gone in the house.
It's like they really, I couldn't believe they did this at the last trial, that they pushed the motive, that we know Karen Reed was guilty because she didn't take her shoes off. She knew the rule. If John's alive, you keep your shoes on. But if John's dead, ding dong, the witch is dead, you go full fuck your couch. That's what you do. You keep them shoes on and you go right over the couch and you just say, fuck your couch, Trigger. And you start getting it all messed up. That's how they knew that Karen knew that John was dead, because she didn't take his shoes off. Duh. Like I really can't believe. I thought Hank wouldn't be this dumb, but he's going with this too.
Do you know why you were called that morning?
No.
Did you volunteer to be part of this
Yes.
after the call?
Yes.
You
exactly
had said you thought that you looked at the taillight before you went into John's house?
Yes.
Do you remember actually seeing the tail light that morning?
I do.
Was it simply cracked?
No.
No.
Do you know that the portion of the ring video from when you came out of the house with the defendant, Miss McCabe, do you know that portion is missing?
Objection. Sustained.
Have you ever seen any ring video depicting when the defendant was showing you her missing pieces of taillight that morning?
No.
Despite no video, are you certain that you saw it?
Say it again.
Are you certain that you looked at it with the defendant that morning in that driveway?
Objection. Sustained.
I'd like to play clip 3, please.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Say it again.
Was it a story that you told?
A story?
Yes.
It's what happened.
Do you wish it was just a story?
Objection. Sustained.
There's no further questions.
Okay, so recross.
Just asked. Just a few minutes ago.
Yo, chill out, Trigger. Chill, yo. It's relax. I'm not allowed to say the N-word. Obviously, I'm white, so there's a thing with that. But like, you can't say that. You can't be like, well, words that rhyme with it are out of the question too. Like, sorry, that's just not how it works. You can't do that. Sorry, you don't get to just redefine shit. That's my way around it. Okay. That's my, I'm allowed, like, I can't say the N-word. So I respect that. I respect the rules, right? I didn't write the rules, but I respect it. As a white guy, I'm not allowed to say that. Okay, fine. Right? Some people can say it. I'm not one of them. Can Puerto Ricans say it? It's kind of like a tweener issue. They often get a pass. Asian people, most likely not, but some can. Right? White people, no. White people can't say it ever. So I've substituted with Trigger. And stop being is, you know what I mean? Like, get over it. You don't like it, go somewhere else. See you later. We say whatever the fuck we want here.
Did you ever say
Trigger, please?
you
Exactly.
actually heard
Trigger,
that
please.
statement about that Google search? You said no.
Correct.
The question that was posed to you by Mr. Lally was, what, if anything, did she, Miss Reed,
Trigger,
ask
bitch.
Miss McCabe while they were sitting in the back of the cruiser that you heard.
That you
Correct?
heard.
I misunderstood the
And
question.
you misunderstood that question?
Yes.
What did
I
you
did.
misunderstand about that question?
I didn't know it was that you heard, so I was explaining what happened in the back of the car.
I see. So you just ignored the part, literally, the part of the question where he said, what did you hear her say? That's what your
Because the word
testimony
was
is now?
heard, and I didn't hear it. I obviously got the question wrong because I did not hear anybody ask about a Google search.
Well, I know that's what you're saying now. I get that. But when you were asked, what, if anything, did she ask Miss McCabe while they were sitting in the back of the cruiser that you heard?
That you
your
heard.
immediate answer was, at one point, she asked her to Google hypothermia and how long dash Google hypothermia, end quote. Correct?
Correct.
That was your answer.
Yes.
Correct?
To a question I misunderstood.
And that was a
Oh,
false
yeah, to a
statement,
question.
wasn't it?
That was a
Technically.
technically.
Yes, technically.
Get pregnant, Ms. Roberts.
Okay, so remember, jurors, I said earlier, comments of counsel are not evidence and you have to disregard them. Ask the question.
Thank you, Your Honor. What do you mean technically?
Technically, I was under oath, and I did not hear Karen asked Jen to Google it.
And yet under oath.
But I knew it happened at that
And yet
time.
under oath, you said you did.
Correct.
And that was a lie, correct? Yes.
Was that a lie? Did you lie?
I did not intentionally.
But you did.
And
Not intentionally.
okay, that's the end of
Understood
this.
the question, Mr. Jackson.
All right, is there any other
Oh,
questions?
listen to this.
I said I
stat.
misunderstood the
Look at-
question,
look at
Mr.
the-
Jackson.
Oh, look at
I did
that.
not intentionally.
Look at, she is so mad. She's so triggered. You might even say she's triggered. And she's just like, you lied. But yeah, well, not intentionally lied. You did lie. It was untrue. The thing that you said. And she just knows she's caught. She knows that Alan Jackson has gotten the best of her. She knows that. And she can't help. Now she just loses control of her emotions and does this.
But you did.
And
Not intentionally.
Look at that. Look at
that's
that
the
face.
end of
Understood
this.
the question, Mr. Jackson.
Look at her. Look at her face.
All right, is there any other question or was that it?
Look at her.
I said I misunderstood the question, Mr. Jackson.
Look at her. She is fucking pissed. She's like, did I stutter? I'm missing Mr. Jackson.
That's what you're saying now, correct?
That's what happened.
All right,
Can I ask one more question?
okay.
In that quote, you said, at one point she asked her to Google hypothermia and how long. Then you corrected yourself and finished with Google hypothermia. What did you mean by how long? What were you about to say?
I don't recall.
How long to die in
Someone told you
cold?
something about a phrase that started with how long?
I don't recall.
Hypothermia?
I don't recall.
Like, for instance, how long to die in cold?
I don't recall.
Okay. All right, Ms. McCabe, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And that was just the most perfect ending. When she said, Miss McCabe, because it's the same fucking thing. She might as well be Miss McCabe. You could not come up with a more poetic ending than that Freudian slip. It's fucking perfect. It was just perfect. So Kerry Roberts and Timothy Nuttall have been destroyed. They're done. They have no credibility whatsoever moving forward. Anything they say cannot possibly be believed by any rational juror. She will never be convicted, right? There is no way that all 18 people on that jury right now, that not a single one of them isn't fucking questioning everything these people say. And that's two. That's 2 for 2. We're questioning. I mean, forget about Peggy O'Keefe and this other guy, Whitley, that's in love with Kerry. Don't worry about them. They're not real witnesses. Okay. The ones that matter that need to be believed are not going to be believed. None of them. They're all going to be like that. And 𝗫𝗄𝗃 is going to fucking dice up all of their fucking experts. This is going to be great theater. Great theater. So there's that. All right. Let me read some turtle chats to end the evening here. Let's see what we got. Where do we start here? All right, Cal S sends $15. Goes, why do you think Kerry asked AJ about Connor Keith and Kathleen Prince? Love you, doctor. Your guess is as good as mine. It sounds like she was saying that whoever wrote the report wasn't trustworthy. I don't fucking know. It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. But I don't think Alan Jackson knew either. Bubba sends $5. He goes, are we just going to ignore this firefighter guy? Looks like Colin. Brian Albert should take a paternity test. I don't think he does, but all right. Christy sends $15. Goes, thoughts on Kerry perjury Roberts mentioning the first trial and that Jen the cunt gave John CPR. What the fuck? No, she didn't. Also, am I the only one getting the feeling that the Commonwealth won't call Proctor to stand? I would say there's almost no chance that they call Proctor to the stand. There's no fucking way. They're gonna force the defense to do that. So, and I guess you can, when it's your own witness, you can ask for the court to call them a hostile witness too, right? So they could do that. All right. Next up, Tammy sends $25, goes, Ernie Bach Jr. posted a selfie with Karen Reed today on his Facebook page. Wow. I thought that was pretty cool and influential with his big following, dude, and his big money. Hook it up, Ernie Bach, bro. Can we get a little donation to the Karen Reed Legal Defense Fund? Is that true? Ernie Bach is fucking crazy wealthy, obviously. And wow. That's big culturally. You know, big. I'm telling you, more and more Barstool people are going to get into this too. This is going to be a cultural thing. Yeah, they got no one on their side who matters. They got no one. They got a bunch of losers, and the mediocre housewives of Canton. That's who they got. All right, next up, Nathaniel Peterman sends $5 and goes, "Hey Turtle, hope you've been doing well. I want to ask if you've seen anything about the New England serial killer. My dad used to live in Mass and says there's a bunch of posts popping up about it on Facebook." No, I haven't. Thank you for the $5. Claire sends $20, goes, super pumped for the daily rundowns with you. Thanks for always bringing truth to the trial. Let's fucking go. Free Karen Reed. Well, thank you very much, Claire. Shayna donates $5 and has no comment. Thank you. Kay sends $25 and goes, fun fact, Peggy Rizzetano O'Keefe's mother was Catherine O'Keefe before she got married and became Rizzetano. Thank you for sharing. Jordan sends $10 and goes, it seemed like they were starting to get into some text messages with Steve, Nelson, and Morrissey, but Bev called the sidebar, and when they came back, the topic was changed. Rub your eyebrow if this is close, because I've been waiting forever for this day and was so sad that it didn't get brought up. That you might be onto something there, my friend. I think you're onto something. Loudmouth Johnson sends $10 and goes, what's with the new coin slot going on between Guarino's eyes? Scar? Frown lines? I didn't notice it. I just can't believe he faked a limp. I cannot fucking believe that. I saw the guy walking into court. I saw him in the registry of deeds parking lot. I took pictures of him. He's not limping. He doesn't need any help. He doesn't have a cane. And he walked in. You should have seen him holding up the fucking banister like he just got shot. It was fucking crazy. Well, I'm like, dude, I just saw you outside. You are literally deceiving the jury in front of me right now because you think that they're going to feel bad for you. All right. Amy sends $10 and says, Attorney Melanie Little shared a good observation of how Yannetti is shielding Karen from Paul staring at her. Keep up the great work. He is turning to her a lot. He is doing that. I've noticed that. So there's that. Next up, Alan's full-throated argument sends $25 and goes, what's the reaction from the jury when between witness clips are played? Not much. They don't show much emotion. Tammy sends $5, goes, when Jackson was losing his shit, we were all just focusing on your junk in the background. Sorry, but not really sorry. I don't think my junk was there today. I don't think the camera was on the witnesses most of the day today. So they took it easy on my nuts. So there's that. All right. But I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Next up, Susan Y. Yanez sends $25 and goes, hey, Timothy, was the court reporter wearing a duck-covered jacket and then took it off? Have a good night, Daddy. I just brushed my teeth. Good. I'm glad you did. Brush those teeth. Brush those teeth. Okay, thank you. I don't know what you're talking about the jacket, but thank you for the dono. Kimberly sends $25 and goes, oh, wow. Loving the adrenaline rushes already and only day 2. Let's go. Reasonable doubt. Dono for free 𝗺𝗏𝗺 Defense Fund. And thank you very much for that, Kimberly. And just reminder, I forgot to announce too. We have decided, so on tomorrow's a full day of court. Friday is a half a day. So tomorrow night, we're going to be discussing it on Sex Cult. So you're going to have to join Sex Cult Turtle Club if you haven't done so already. It's $15 a month. You get a stream that nobody else gets, and you get ad-free on the website, and you're supporting something awesome. So that's cool. So you can join Sex Cult if you haven't done so already. It's dope. Okay. We haven't had problems in a few months with it too. It's been great. Secondly, on frame 2, we did not get it done before the start of the trial. However, because we want it done right, we didn't want to rush it. We've decided on a debut, and I think that Friday would be the best day to debut it. So we're going to do a premiere sometime on Friday of frame 2. It's basically done, and we will be ready to premiere it on Friday. So we'll have an announcement about when that's going to be. It's going to be dope. Okay. Next up. Susie sends $50 and goes, thanks for all you do. My pleasure, Susie. Do my best. Thank you. Scott A sends $10 and goes, your reporting is outstanding in every aspect. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate that, Scott, and I will. Giovanna sends $10 and goes, why do you believe that Kerry is Jen's puppet? Does she have something on her? Is she scared of her? No, she's just stupid. She's retarded. That's it. She's been conned, and she does not want to admit what has happened to her. She can't come to reality with it. Neither can Peggy. They're all like that. Jenna sends $10 and goes, something about chest high under your camera, I think, is causing the red. You moved it last week and there was no red for a second. Really? Is that what's causing it? Is it this? Is it like, I can't tell. The shirt looks pink, doesn't it? It's not. This is like a sand gray kind of color. I don't know. Something's happening. How do you join Sex Club? I will post it right here. Let me grab this. Right there. Okay. Wait. Yeah. So if you want to join it, that's the link right there. Sex Cult. I'll post another link for it tomorrow if you'd like to join it. That's how you can join. Good question. Jenna sends $10. No, that was her comment. Let me just refresh this, see if there's any more. Katie sends $100. Woo! Nice. And says, keep doing what you're doing. More blinged out shirts coming soon. All right. Love to see that, Katie. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been like a week of me being pink. I have no fucking clue why it's happening. I can't figure it out. I've messed around with the lights. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Okay. Tracy sends $10, goes, hey, Doc, notice how Spanky didn't ask Peggy anything about how she knew Karen or felt about her as John's girlfriend prior to his death. I know. That's a good point, because she always hated her and wouldn't be able to hold that back. Her testimony seemed odd by leaving that out. I wonder what female jurors were thinking. Love from Oregon. Very good point. Very good point. A couple more cash apps. Nicole sends $5 and goes, this will make for a great Lifetime movie one day. More than just Lifetime. It's going to be on the big screen. EMC sends $10 and goes, ice cream bar eating skills. I couldn't, you know what? I was going to wait till afterwards, but I feel comfortable with you guys that I could just eat an ice cream bar while I'm live, and, you know, you won't think less of me for doing so. So there's that. Denise sends $5 and goes, for Kerry's punchable face. I wouldn't punch her. Definitely not punch her, but maybe laugh at her. But JJ sends $5, goes, I'm a black woman. You saying trigger cracks me up. Exactly. Trigger what? You know, trigger, please. Anyway, okay, let me just refresh this. See, I got a pass. I got a pass from somebody who claims to be a black person. So I'm in. I'm in now. All right. Anyway, anybody else got anything to say before we call it a night? All right. Well, I'm just going to call it an anyway because we got to get up early tomorrow, drive into that courthouse, get started, get in that room, and let's see what tomorrow's got. And then we'll see you guys all for the sex cult tomorrow night. Framed premiere on Friday. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the show yet on Saturday or Sunday, but it'll be this weekend when I do the show. For sure. I might just need a break Saturday. I need a fucking breather. But anyway, guys, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.
It calls for data including calendars, alerts, reminders, notes, text messages, pictures, or videos from April 1st, 2023 through and including October 5th, 2023. 7 months